Live.
Are we
Hey.
live?
We're locked and lowered, right?
Locked and Lowered. That is a good podcast. We should definitely get a
know,
Locked
right?
and Lowered podcast going.
How's
I
everybody
don't-
doing today?
I'm good.
Good.
How are you?
It's been a crazy day. I'm not going to lie.
Crazy.
You know,
Every
Say the least.
obviously fresh back from vacation. You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
vacation, man. Breathing in that fresh oxygen. Or is it so fresh because it's kind of got a little bit of sprinkle of Corona in there?
Yeah, I'm telling you what. I mean,
There was
the-
a lot of Corona. We were
yeah, my
was
refrigerator,
exactly.
my mini fridge had Corona lights in it.
Really?
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't
Free?
like it.
Well, yeah, it's all
It's all
inclusive. Yeah.
inclusive.
So
Did they give you limes?
Yes.
They did.
No, they didn't give us lines. If
would
yeah,
if
if
you
you were at the
asked.
bar,
Okay,
you know.
okay.
But yeah, so obviously we just got back from a few days down in
Yeah.
Mexico.
Mexico,
And for those of you
baby.
guys, obviously we checking in is on Friday as opposed to Wednesday because we were not here Wednesday. So thank
correct.
you guys for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Just to recap for those people that didn't watch last time,
Let's do it.
we didn't
Recap on
go.
what?
Well, just the fact that we did get to Mexico.
yes.
Oh, are you okay? Gotcha.
Yeah,
I was
the-
confused what
yeah.
we were recapping. So.
Yeah, no, I was recapping the
life.
fact that we almost didn't get to Mexico
Yes.
because one of
Because
us,
somebody
one of
had
us,
an expired passport.
Not it.
one of us had an expired
Not it.
passport. Yeah,
Not it.
and no, it was my stupidity. I've already owned up to the stupidity of what's. I mean,
Multiple
and
times.
This is what I've said.
I
is
am
that
in shock.
what's that?
I am in shock
That it
that
worked?
you were able to get that passport.
Couldn't believe it.
Honestly,
Couldn't believe
no,
it.
I was
Yeah.
so hesitant
Yeah,
because
6
we were
hours.
rebooking this, and I'm like, what if you can't get it? Because in my head,
Yeah.
there was no way
No.
that within one day you'd get that.
I thought it was going to take like
No way.
weeks for you
Oh
to
well,
get.
I thought it would at least take a few days.
I Googled it.
Expedited.
It literally said 2 to 8 weeks.
Nice.
That's what it said when I heard you freaking out. I
Yeah.
Googled it. I was like,
And you're
okay.
like,
Because I was trying to help a little bit, like without you guys knowing. I was like, all right, let me see what I can do.
Yeah, you're like
right.
As we're losing our shit.
You're fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it said when you Googled it.
Yeah,
you beat kid.
2 to 8 weeks, and it said that was with you paying a bunch of money. So when
Yeah.
you got it the next day, I was just like,
Well, I
what
couldn't
the
believe
heck?
it either because I got a text like late, I think it was late at night, and I see I'm so fucked. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, what's up?
Yeah, but no, we have we're like I said last time, we have a passport department in Detroit, and shout out to them because they are a freaking amazing. 6 hours.
Yeah, that was
I
great.
was there 6 hours later. I picked up my passport.
Good to know.
And we made it to Mexico.
And it's so funny too because when you were looking online, it was showing like FedEx and
Yeah.
like $600.
Yeah, it was like $700
for like
bucks, yeah.
overnight.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you walked away.
Yeah, it was $170, and if you
Which
get
is-
it was
which
just
is
120.
almost what you pay
Yeah, it's
anyways.
120 for a normal passport. So I paid $50 to get it the
crazy.
same day.
That's
within
crazy.
hours.
Yeah,
too.
within hours. Whereas for 120, it would take 2 to 8 weeks.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So for $50, but you have to be like, there were a couple people at the passport department that had driven like 3 hours. We're only 25 minutes away. So and they had to remember, I went there in the morning, filled out the paperwork, and then went back in the afternoon to pick it up. Those people had to stay for 5 or 6 hours
yeah.
waiting because
No,
they weren't going
we're
to drive
just
home.
Fortunate, right,
Yeah.
that it is right there. So
Yeah, so regardless, we
Yeah, it
we
worked
did
out
make the
great.
trip.
It worked
We
out.
did make the
We
trip,
went.
So
and,
let's talk about the trip, okay?
Yeah,
So I have one question,
yeah.
and that is, what was your like go-to food item, right? Because you're on
Ugh.
vacation.
It was a little tough.
Did you have like a go-to food item or something that you ate where you were just like, wow, I wish we had that back at home, like the way it
No.
is here?
No.
You said no. Okay.
No,
wow.
I mean,
Straight no.
so let me back up for a second and say that.
Okay.
Let me back up for a second and say that we have stayed at the same all-inclusive 2 years
2
prior,
times. Yep.
and we loved it,
Yeah.
but unfortunately
that's
because
what
my
we had
F,
booked.
and that's what we booked this time. So the food there was great, a bunch of really good restaurants. They had some great buffets, all-inclusives you can eat, and that's So I don't drink. Obviously, you don't drink much. I mean, you drink a
Not
little
compared to the
bit.
people at All Inclusive, let me
Yeah.
tell you.
So we
Holy
don't get our
crap.
money's worth with the alcohol side of it. So we want to eat,
Yeah.
and so the
So
other place.
we did learn a little trick after the first year. To
Oh
where,
yeah.
To where a lot of these places
What?
like. They make you go to restaurants
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
the buffet. And so we learned after the first time,
Yeah.
you order, okay, your entree, your
Oh,
appetizer or whatever,
okay.
and you get one, and they're these really small
Yeah,
portions.
super small portions.
So after that, we were like, screw that.
Yeah.
Like we tried it because we're like, all they can do is say no. So we'll order like 3 appetizers.
Oh, that's
each,
awesome.
2
Yeah,
or 3
3, yeah.
entrees. Like we
Wow.
ordered 3 desserts each.
Yeah.
What do you mean? 3
We had,
each?
4 total. 4 desserts total.
Yeah, he got
God.
2 creme brulees.
True creme brulees, yeah.
Whatever.
But-
and the people, and
yeah.
it's funny because people don't normally do that. So the other people at the tables look, and the guy's like having a hard time putting all the plates on the table. We're like, hell yeah.
But it is like Mexican food, like
No.
No?
We didn't have any. Well, we had some. We had some nachos and we had. Well, we had tacos.
No carnitas?
Let's get to that.
Yes.
Let's get to that. We'll get
carnitas de toro.
Yes,
We'll get to
on-
that later. Yeah,
on
let's
the
get to
off
let's
resort
break it down
All
in
right.
sequence.
So go back
So
to
yeah, let's
your
go back
thing.
to the fact that we couldn't book the same place because there was like a cancellation situation where they don't allow you to rebook within a week so that people don't price shop, right? So let's say you pay $5,000 for an all inclusive and it goes on sale for $3,500.
Yeah.
People could cancel and rebook.
Yeah.
So so the place we had stayed at said no, you can't. You know, if you cancel, you're done. You know.
Yeah.
And so we didn't stay at the place we wanted. So the place we stayed at was nice, but definitely a step down. And so the food was good, not great. You know, it was good. You know, not great. But the first night we stayed one night in just what they called the Junior Ocean Suite. And honestly, it felt like we were staying in Daytona. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
a
It was
hotel.
a hotel room
It
with
was
a
like
balcony overlooking the pool with the ocean in the distance.
far distance, yeah.
Okay.
And then it had a really janky jacuzzi on the freaking porch.
Well, jacuzzi is a bathtub. with
Yeah, it was
the
a
jets,
bathtub.
is
Yeah,
what it
and
was.
I wouldn't
Nice.
have gotten that thing if you paid me. That had
No.
the Corona. That had the Corona.
Why?
It had
Yeah.
a lot of stuff.
I would have just brought some bleach wipes, just rub it down, baby.
Yeah,
Very
no,
good.
it was good. But anyway, so the
mean,
good
it
news was
worked.
the reason. So the room we ended up staying in
Yeah.
was not available the first night, but it was
Yeah.
available the rest of the nights. And as you guys I've mentioned before, I will spend money on experiences before I spend money on material things. Typically, you know. So for me to spend
course.
extra money to have a dope ass room right on the beach is worth it to me.
I agree.
And so the last
Which we
the
did.
last little bit was the room was incredible.
heard
I mean,
Obama stayed in there, right?
it was a
Could-
presidential
he
suite.
could
Yeah, it was
have.
a presidential suite. It was nice. We had an infinity pool, our own infinity
Yeah.
pool
Oh,
that,
that's awesome.
that went off the
The
thing
little
to the
thing.
beach.
That's what I want.
Private access to
and
the
then
beach.
you just walk right out, and the beach is right
In my
there.
house,
Yeah.
that's what I want, right? I envision my bedroom, right? I got this big bed. I wake up in the morning. I'm working on this invention, by the way. It's a coffee alarm clock.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a
when
good
the
one.
alarm clock
like
goes
this.
off, it actually starts brewing coffee, so that when you hear the sounds of the rainforest and
Oh,
there's like
that's
Oh my God,
birds in
you
the
just
background.
wake up to the smell of the coffee.
Caw,
brewing. That's
caw.
nice.
That's the birds in the forest, and
I
then
don't
you
want to-
smell the fresh Java, right?
Nice.
The cafe. This is what they call it down in Mexico, right?
yeah, is that what
And
they
you
call
don't
it?
even no, yeah. You say cafe,
Americano.
cafe sin azúcar. That means no sugar. Okay.
Ah, okay.
So just black. You know what I mean? No sin leche, no milk. All right. See, I should have been there with you because
Yeah, I
I can
could have been
translate a
You
little
should
bit.
have, 'cause
Yeah.
it
I can
would have been
translate a
pretty
bit
funny.
You know what I mean? Huevos, eggs. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, we are.
I really think this coffee thing is a great invention because the first thing I want when I wake up is a little sip of that coffee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get my
Get that from me.
get that bowel movement.
Well-
Right,
Oh,
get a little
jeez.
caffeine, starts boiling up like a witch's cauldron. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Just
It does keep you regular.
boiling. Anyways, getting a little bit off topic, but yeah, Mexico's great.
Yeah, Mexico's great. I'm glad that you
With all
you
that
brought this.
said.
Yeah, with
no,
all
but
that said.
okay, so you went off on your little infinity pool, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I literally said this. So again, it's a private. So you have your like patio that the living room and the bedroom would walk out onto.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we
with
had a
long
living room too. We
chairs
had a
or with
living room
layout
as well.
Yeah.
chairs or a little table, but then there was the little infinity pool, which
Yeah.
was not huge, but a nice size.
Okay.
And when we were in there, that's what I said. I was like, we could totally tear down that stupid pond.
make
Put-
it
That
cool.
stupid
yeah, and
pond.
put an infinity pool right there. That would be so much
You could
better.
almost. You wouldn't even have to tear it down. You could.
No, you can
transition it.
exactly. So it's a thought.
It's like a
I don't know.
transgender pond. You can transition.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the same. But yeah. Regardless,
Okay.
it was a good trip. It was a
It
good trip. It
was.
was mostly there was some issues. I mean, we'll get into a little bit of that later, but for the most part, it was good. We did have a day excursion out with so
Yes, I wanna
so
hear about
listen, this
that.
is weird. Like sometimes I think I'm more of an idiot than I can imagine,
Okay,
and the reason is that, well, the reason is that, I'm going down to Mexico and I've met this guy one time named Victor, he was a guide. We took us to Chichen Itza. He worked for a company that we booked a tour with. So it was like just through the hotel, through the resort, and great guide. And we just exchanged information. So the last couple of years, we've kind of stayed in touch through WhatsApp and stuff like that. And so as I was going down there, I was like, I reached out to him. I said, Victor, I'd like to go on a cool excursion for a day, not with other people, not touristy. I want it to be something really cool. Yeah. And, you think about it and you think, well, does hijacking or kidnapping come to mind in Mexico when you're just like some guy you really don't even know
anywhere? But I feel you. I understand.
And it's just so it's a little bit silly that I would trust a guy that I don't even know that I've met one time. I can agree that take me out into the wild. Well,
this is all I'm gonna say.
I can agree.
Is I was with you. Yeah. And I met him too.
Yeah, and he's a good guy.
I'm a good judge of character. Sometimes I think better than you.
Yeah, probably.
And he. I felt like he was obviously a legit.
Literally, because before you guys left, I even said that I thought it was kind of sketchy. But now after seeing him on video, he seems like a stand-up dude.
No, he was a really good guy. But I mean, there's always this thing. And I'm going to take it back one step further of my idiocy. And that was when I was in South Africa.
You did some stuff.
Yeah, well, that was one of the stupidest things I did. So what happened at that point, people may not know this. I don't have a personal Facebook page. So I have a Facebook page that's a verified page that does very well, but I don't even have a login to,
I'm not you.
It's not me. And so, cause I don't like Facebook, but back then I did have Facebook. And when I was in South Africa a couple years ago, 3 years ago, whenever it was, not the last time, the time before, but, had one day open, like really a half a day before I was supposed to go to the airport. So I just literally post. And you got to remember, I was in Johannesburg, which is the kidnapping capital of the world. Okay. And I posted on Facebook, hey, I've got several hours. Does anyone want to pick me up at the hotel and show me some cool animals? And I get just... What? Yeah, I just get these guys respond.
Don't look at me like I know what the heck he's
doing.
Yeah,
she wasn't with me. I was alone.
No, I wasn't there.
I was alone.
Okay, and so
keep going.
And again, I'm the better judge of character because that wouldn't have happened if I was
so
there.
I don't even know. So I just have a guy, respond to me saying like, yeah, I've got some cool stuff. I can pick you up at 9. And I'm like, cool.
Actually, dude. I remember this because I remember you telling me before you went because you realized and you're
I realized like, what was I thinking?
Just so you know. I did a thing, in case you don't.
Well, the worst part. This is the worst part about that experience is that he said he was only 15 minutes away from the airport, so he shows up. It's him and another friend of his show up in this car. I get into the back.
So it actually happened.
Oh, yeah. So I get into the back of the car. And honestly, as I'm getting in the car, I'm thinking, this was really stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. No shit. Because this is what could happen, right?
Right.
Obviously, we are all humans. Everybody is a human, okay? But you are a public figure, okay? So there's kind of more of a... something where somebody would try something just because you have more of a name.
Yeah, name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what could happen if you in the wrong place, you get in the car, they drive around the street, guns pulled. Hey, give me everything. If you don't have anything, bang, gone.
Yeah, well,
I feel like that's
call me for a ransom.
Well, I thought the kidnapping was.
Pay a ransom?
No, you wouldn't. That's messed up. You're dead. You're dead.
That's so scary.
Calling your bluff.
But so regardless, the worst part is that 2 guys show up. I don't know these guys from anybody.
Of course.
I jump in the back of their car and I'm like, Jesus, and I'm driving like for 45 minutes, and they say they're 15 minutes away. Now I'm like, we are effed, man.
You are.
I am effed, man. And I'm just thinking, Jesus. And so, South Africa's always gated and very, like every house has a electric fence.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's very insecure. People get killed all the time there. I almost got killed there when, the last time I was there.
Yeah, we might talk about that.
And this is what he's doing.
Yeah, and so, but that was, almost got killed after
separate.
that. Yeah, this was before I almost got killed there.
Exactly.
Because I wouldn't have done this after almost getting killed. But
that's good to know.
yeah. So, anyways, so we pull up to this place, and sure enough, it's like a gated thing. they take out this big, lock. They unlock the gate. We walk in, they lock the gate, and I'm like, they're gonna fucking just put a bag over my head, and I'm gonna be kidnapped. And so I was never more happy when we walked through the door and there was a little serval. In their thing, and I was like, "Oh, thank God, they actually have animals."
With a serval?
No, because I knew they had animals
Right,
at that
right.
point, and I thought, okay, this
Exactly.
isn't, this isn't.
Okay.
So
I thought you were just like, okay, if I'm gonna go, at least I'm
With a
going
serval.
yeah, with the serval, yeah, they had a little fennec fox. They
Really?
had- yeah, no,
I
they had-
want a fennec fox.
Oh, yeah, they had a-
Reptarium
Remember
expansion
back in the
3.0.
day, Junes? You were
Yeah.
little.
No, I remember Jun. Man, he was a character. He had
all
king
kinds of
He's the guy that used
cobras.
to work. Yeah, he used to work for us. Yeah.
I remember. Can I talk about this?
Yeah.
King Cobra thing.
What
Didn't-
about it?
Didn't one of his king cobras
Get
escape?
loose. Yeah. Yeah.
He
Oh
had a
my
king
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a king cobra. You don't remember that? I was a little kid and I remember that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
remember the fennec.
He had
Well,
like
the fennec fox escaped too.
Yeah.
and it
The
never came
tortoise,
back.
the
It
tortoise.
never tortoise escaped, never came back.
What is
So the tortoise was gone, the cobra was gone, and the
fennec.
and the fennec fox was gone.
Just
Never found him.
escaped.
Did he have
gone.
a house? Like
It was a
what?
house, but he kept him in his garage.
That makes sense.
But it was like a nice room in his garage,
It
you know.
was.
But obviously he didn't know. And actually, originally the first time the fennec fox got out, it ate his parrot's beak.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
So the parrot didn't have a beak.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember that.
And then it got out another
Sad.
time and it escaped and it never was found again.
That's messed up.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Imagine
It is what it
that. Imagine that. You're just like walking down the road and you see this little fennec fox and you're just like, oh my God, a wild chihuahua. And you just go like grab it or
Right.
something. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder, somebody might have saved it thinking it's like a dog or something, right? And then
I don't know. You know,
nurtured it.
I don't know what could have happened. The weird thing is he literally, as you know, lived 2 blocks away from us. So, I wish it would have showed up in our yard. It would have been
Right.
nice. But
No, because Artie would have killed it.
so, anyways, point is, Victor, the Mexican, was great. You know, he showed us around. He took us to a private cenote, which is kind of more like a lake, really. You know.
Yeah, basically, I think it's their. That's what I was telling somebody. It's their version of a lake.
Yeah, I think
You
there's
know?
something different about a cenote and a lake. I mean, Jay, can you pull anything up on that? I don't know.
Because
And
I
while we're at
remember him
it,
telling us before.
I got you.
yeah,
what it
yeah,
was.
yeah. And while we're at it, I
But it
know
was
we've got the
beautiful.
jewelry guy, our boy here. Hey, sorry,
Hey, Mike.
bring up a sore spot. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you, man. Penny said, I watch you guys every single day. Would love to come out and visit the Reptarium sometime. Yeah,
thank you,
we
Penny.
open up next weekend. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. Sharon, as always, thank you so much. Heavenly Knees, our girl. We
it's
always love you.
Ness.
Noah, you're looking
Yeah,
handsome.
you say heavenly knees. It's actually
Yes.
heavenly ness. Like it's
So
heavenly.
the whole time I'm like thinking
know,
you're
you-
talking about some
don't know
innuendo.
why
I
you
thought
said
it was like
knees.
I thought it was
Actually,
funny.
That's pretty funny. If,
Well, I thought it was
that
like-
was her name that they'd name her Heavenly Knee.
Well, no, I thought it was like a not her
innuendo?
actual name. Like she was like, oh, I've
Maybe-
got some really great knees.
I was
so
gonna
I'm-
say
you know?
maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe she does. Heavenly Knees.
No,
Thanks,
do you get it though?
I do get it.
Heavenly ness. Like, oh my
I
God.
get it. I
Okay,
get
just
it. I
making
get
sure
it.
it gets through.
That works
yeah.
too.
It
But,
does work, but the knees
Cenote.
part is. I've
I
never
know,
been a
that
big
is
knee
pretty-
guy, but that's.
I mean,
some people are. I'm
Man,
sure.
I
you know?
see. Sometimes I'll see a knee and I'll just.
Damn.
It gets me. It gets me.
Listen, back
Yeah.
in like the 20s when those ladies would show their knees
Imagine
off,
that,
shit.
right?
You never saw
You never
one,
saw a
and then
knee.
you like saw a knee. Like,
Yeah, you know.
Oh my God.
Did you see that?
Was that you get like your boys? You're sitting around with your boys. Those knees, man.
She got the best knees I've ever seen. I think I found the one.
And Heavenly has
Yeah.
All right.
amazing knees.
So
obviously.
it says a cenote
Is
is a natural pit or sinkhole.
resulting from a collapse of limestone
okay.
bedrock.
So yeah, it's not like a lake. It's
Yeah,
it's
see,
yeah.
it's
So it's
exactly that's what it was. It's
So
underground.
the water table.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So anyways, we went to this private cenote that was really amazing. The thing I liked about it was the fact that there were some people there, not a lot, 30, 40 people, something like
Yeah,
that.
maybe, if
but
that.
it was like locals, right? And trust me, I stood out because I'm
my
a
God.
little white.
So-
You?
I'm a little white.
You're reflective, dude.
I'm a little white.
Exactly. That was what he walked away with.
Yeah.
Is he's not tan, but he lost the glow.
Yeah,
So it's just like
He's
a
dull.
regular
He's more
white.
dull
It's
now.
not like the
Yeah.
reflective
Even
white.
Victor said that. He goes, I didn't realize you were so white. That's what he said. He goes, I didn't remember that from last time. And I said, well,
Well, I didn't see
Yeah.
you without all your stuff on.
Yeah,
You had
yeah,
shorts
yeah,
on
yeah.
and you went swimming.
yeah.
But-
So
Oh wait,
You
can I
went
please go a little off? We'll
Oh,
come
no,
back
go
to
ahead.
the
All right, go-
cenote.
yep, go ahead.
But so we're we're at the beach. Clearly, I'm laying out because that's
Yeah.
all I want is
I
to just
know.
lay out and get as dark as possible.
You came back
and
and
he came.
you were red as a
So
Roma.
he would come with me, and I brought the sunscreen, you know,
Yes,
the
sunscreen
50
is my friend.
SPF or whatever. So the first day, I was like, all right, make sure, you know, did you get it really good? He goes, yeah. I'm like, no. I said, are you sure you didn't miss any spots?
Yeah.
Because
You had to do
know,
it. Why didn't you do it?
happens.
I know, I'm
'Cause
not-
I don't
I'm
want
not
it on me.
capable.
I'm not trying to block the sun for me. And I
know.
thought he was an adult. So wait, he's like, no, I got it. I'm like, okay, well, we'll find out tomorrow.
We found out.
What happened?
Clearly,
patches?
you get
Oh,
yeah,
I'm patchy.
you get your sunscreen skills. Like it was like
Yeah.
Hawaii,
In Hawaii,
that
yeah.
year, but
Always.
his legs. So his 2 ankles are like reddish purple. He had
Yeah.
a few smears like up his
Yeah,
legs.
one of my knees
like,
was- yeah,
it
one of
was
my
just
knees
like
was-
Those heavenly
random,
knees.
just like
Yeah.
red purple. And so this was like the day before we
Yeah.
went with Victor. So when we went
So he saw
swimming,
my,
he
patchy.
was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You got mange or
I'm
something?
like,
Yeah.
this is his sunscreen.
Yeah, it just
First off, you said you don't need the sunscreen.
no.
Sunscreen is important.
Well, yeah.
It's not
that's-
just like, oh, I want to get as colorful as possible. You know, you still get color through sunscreen. It just it's supposed to like help you not get skin cancer.
The cancer, yeah.
You know,
The cancer.
So you're
mean,
just
whatever.
soaking in all
I'm
that
just, I'm just
cancer.
gonna say I'm one
Boy.
that prefers the oil to the sunscreen.
Yeah, your mom's like oiling up, like she's got fucking the canola oil out, you know.
No,
she's like,
not
she's
the
like,
canola.
it's like, yeah, it's like a turkey, you know, basting that shit, you know.
It is.
It's like, yeah, put some
gotta-
more of the oil on that shit.
You gotta block out that cancer, boy. That's it. That's what we're calling it. now.
But okay,
The
so
can.
back
Okay,
to
so
the
yeah.
cenote.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, there
It
were
was a
swings.
local-
Yeah,
that
there were
was really
swings
cool.
on the water,
It looked
like
dope.
in the water,
I didn't
like
see
actually
it.
in the water,
Yeah.
hammocks in the water, like
Yeah, it was
actually
really
right in the
cool.
water,
Yep,
and the
like
water
right
was
over.
so blue.
Did you
and
post
so
a video about it?
We just today,
vlog,
just
yeah,
today.
today's
Okay, I
just
didn't
today,
get
yeah.
around
Did
to
vlog
watching
that
it
one.
yet.
It's really nice. But my
Yeah.
favorite part of the cenote.
Oh, the coconut?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The coconut.
Fresh
guys.
cocos?
Surprising.
Yes.
They got machete,
Oh yeah,
Yes.
machete. Yeah.
and then they cut it open, and then you
Yep.
just pop a straw in that
And then,
boy.
No straws
But this is
in
what's
Mexico
interesting.
now.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Straw
straws.
free.
Plastic?
Well,
So,
Yucatan,
no.
yeah, Yucatan is straw free.
So
Um,
it kind of sucked, but
Pretty similar. This could be wrong, but in the area, New York or Philadelphia, one of those states,
Yeah.
just banned plastic bags.
Yeah, it was
Yes,
New York.
it was New York.
Yeah,
I
it was
read
New
that.
York.
Correct.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but
Smart.
Well, what's interesting about the coconut was that, and I was surprised your mom liked it so much because
Exactly.
they had like 3 types of pepper that they put on it, but it
That's
wasn't.
weird.
It didn't have. Yeah, like
What, you lick it?
no.
No.
So you drink it first. You drink all the liquid. You give it back, and then he
chop
cuts it
it.
in half. And then he has this little spoon tool that he takes. And
Yeah.
he,
well, he did it with the
gets-
knife for us because there was so
Yeah,
much
that's
flesh. Yeah.
and he like gets all the meat out, but then he's got like 3 different like pepper
Seasoning.
chili. I think he
Yeah,
said
they're
chili
chilies, yeah,
things.
chilies.
And I was like, Victor's like, oh, and I'm like, oh, I can't do hot because you know me, like
Yeah.
I'm the
Yeah,
worst.
yeah.
He's like, no, it's not hot at all. I'm like, I don't know, like anything is hot for me. He
Yeah.
goes, just try it. So they did theirs first, and I just took a little piece, and so it had like such a good like flavor.
Yeah.
If you had a chili, but then it didn't have any heat.
Yeah.
And I've
Yeah, it
never
just was weird. It was
experienced
just
that
the
because
flavor
normally
without
I
the
was
heat.
waiting for that heat to like burn my mouth,
Yeah.
and it didn't. I was like, "Holy crap!
Yeah.
This is really good."
It's
so
prob-
obviously we did it on ours too, and it was so good.
It's probably
Yeah.
like line bread, right? Because like they can do that with
can do that.
plants and everything. They
Right.
they probably just
Yeah,
line
just get
bread out the spice.
Yeah, the
Really?
spice. Yeah.
Okay.
Because yeah, that's why I mean, I like jalapenos. I like all the peppers because of the flavor. Like I like how it tastes.
Yeah, it's not that I
Yeah.
hate the flavor of stuff. I just hate my mouth on
Oh
fire.
yeah, because
You
it does
know?
get hot.
But regardless, that was really cool. And then after that, he
That was
took us
so
to a
good.
place called Koba. Which is
Well,
which
actually,
is a Mayan
after
room.
that,
Oh
we
yeah,
went
that's what we
for
were
the
talking about. Yeah, we went to
tacos.
the local tacos.
So
And,
good,
uh,
like you said.
They were good, man. They were
Oh,
like they were
so
legit.
good.
I mean, it was legit. You know, it was like Mexican.
we went with the
yeah.
pork,
Yeah,
and
yeah, we did.
it was so
Pork.
good. We got like 2 rounds.
get-
Yeah.
About 6 tacos each.
Yeah, we had 6 tacos
They were a
each.
little small, like they
Yeah.
weren't huge, but
Carne.
so good.
It was good though, yeah, and again, like real legit, like
Oh, yeah.
you know, so
Street
yeah, it was good. We
tacos,
went
man.
there,
So
and
that was
then
probably the best, like as far as
Yeah, the
obviously,
food
the only
wise,
like
yeah.
local
I want
kind of
to
stuff.
I want to hear about it. So What was in the taco? Was there like pork belly?
No, what was interesting is that you know how you like a gyro has the thing on this rotisserie spin, and then they just shave it off. It was pork on a rotisserie, and they would just shave it.
Spice because it was like reddish.
Yeah, it was like reddish on the outside.
Probably the
like
chilies
turmeric,
or whatever.
Maybe turmeric.
Because it wasn't hot, but it had a really good flavor.
Yeah, turmeric and cumin.
But then they had the
what's on top?
They had like the tomatoes and they had chopped onions, which I couldn't believe because it came with Dad, and you know he hates them.
I know. You ate it.
And there was even a lot for me, but then they had a lime. So you squeeze the lime juice on it. And then they had 3 different there was a guacamole sauce and then 2 other like red sauces.
Probably like a salsa verde.
I didn't try the reds because I didn't know
they were
if
pretty heat. They had a lot of heat.
So
I did the heat.
I did the guacamole on there, and like you didn't even taste the onion.
Yeah.
Like it was just delicious.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it was so good.
It was good. But
I'm
regardless,
jealous.
after that was a great dinner, and then we went to Koba, which was awesome. And we got to
it's
a Mayan ruin.
Another
But the
Mayan
thing
ruin.
that's nice about it is it's
a Mayan ruin. That's like one
like
like
the temples and
temple
stuff.
looking thing
Temples
with
and
the
pyramids.
stairs.
Yeah, pyramids and stuff like that. And the thing that was nice is that we went after hours, so there was really basically no one there. And it's not like a huge tourist thing, compared to some of the other ruins as well. And we were able to literally climb up. Yeah, do you have a picture of Koba?
I'm getting there. Yeah, keep talking.
So we were able to climb to the top
of
the one.
The big governor's temple.
And we got to see the
that's
sunset.
actually the one we climbed to right there.
Yeah,
That's right.
That might be me. I don't know.
Yeah, that looks like Laura. And that is really high, like straight up. Trust me. It doesn't
going
look.
up wasn't bad. Coming down, like holy
Impossible.
shit. No, it was pretty scary.
But we were there with maybe like 8 people total.
I used that rope.
So yeah, there's the
used
temple
that rope
right there.
coming down, for
So
sure.
how long did it take from you to get to the bottom to the top?
I mean,
'Cause
it
can't
wasn't
really
that
tell.
bad. It was only like a 5-minute.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's like 150 something steps or something like that.
Yeah.
But they're really treacherous steps.
It's
pretty,
not like you had to watch because there was some where you had to like
course.
look.
Yeah, I mean
and
these are
hold on
thousand
and,
years old or
Exactly.
whatever. So we were able to go up there at the end of the day. So it was a really cool excursion, and then
It looked awesome.
yeah. So
It was
and then we
neat.
came
and
back.
then it
to
was
this,
funny too because then so the whole area has like just these dirt paths going to all the different things, and then you have to you could walk, but we didn't have a lot of time because we needed to get to the ruins before sunset.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, we're gonna do bikes. But Dad's got his camera
Yeah.
and he's trying to film. So he's like, okay, so Victor and his brother rode a bike, and then Dad and I got a bike taxi. So it's like a
so
tricycle.
some other guy was like,
So
right, and then we were
sit
just in the
front
basket.
seat,
Yeah.
and this poor guy's just like,
Faster.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's incredible.
it was pretty funny.
That's
I was
cool.
like,
Yeah.
we're the typical American tourists right
Yeah.
now, just
Yeah.
getting shuttled around.
Yeah, can
by
we hire this
poor
guy to
I felt
yeah.
so bad, and then I thought, how crazy is that? Like
What?
that this is that guy's job. Like every
I don't
day, he
like. I
just
can't even picture it. He's riding a bike through the forest.
Well, there's paths.
it's like a dirt path.
Yeah, there's paths.
But
yeah.
like it's a bike, but
It's
then
still-
like I said, it's a tricycle because there's a seat in the
Yeah,
front.
yeah, I got
so his
that.
job is to pedal people every single
it's, like,
day.
Bumpy,
Down
like
this-
it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
It's
like
a little bit bumpy. Yeah.
Oh no,
but
it's
I mean,
a
he's-
lot
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
If you were on a bike,
Yeah.
that would have been
So it's
pretty
hard for him.
treacherous. It's not.
Oh yeah, and it's
easy.
uphill and stuff like
Oh,
that.
wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of uphill. And
damn.
stuff
So
like
he's got some quads on him, boy.
He probably should.
that. Yeah, it was probably.
But
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's just. I mean, what a different life. That's literally your job.
I mean,
go
you
to
could do that
work
too.
and-
People do that in New York all the time. You kidding me?
Yeah.
You bike people through the streets.
That's
Yeah.
true, but riding in a street in New York is a lot different than.
It's probably more
trails
dangerous,
and-
actually.
Yeah,
Are
it
you
might
kidding
be.
me?
We got Roxy said, "Hey Brian and Lori and Jay from San Antonio, Texas. I love you guys. You are all genuine
Hey.
people. Hope to visit the Reptarium in the future on my bucket list.
Love to meet ya.
Yeah, would love to
Yeah.
have you. We're getting close to opening. Mike again. I'm in upstate. No plastic bags, just means. We are 10 million trees worth of paper bags instead. Was the only one at Target with a reusable
Oh, see,
bag.
I thought it was basically getting rid of all bags.
No,
so now it's just
no, yeah.
paper.
Yeah, just paper
Okay.
bags.
Well,
yeah.
that doesn't make any sense.
Why?
I'm not gonna lie, because
They want you to
I don't-
use reusables.
Yeah, that would be the way to
and that's
go.
what I thought from the article I
That is
read.
what they're doing.
That's what I said. That's what I read it as is you just have to bring reusables. There were no bags.
Yeah.
And that because the article
Yeah.
I read said like it was, being a hardship for poor people who couldn't afford reusable bags.
Mm.
But if they have the option for paper, then that argument doesn't
Yeah, it's
make any sense.
it's such a tough thing. Don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously, there's a tremendous amount of plastic in the oceans, and it's a horrible situation. It's just so hard to know like what cross you want to die on. You know what I mean?
I feel
it's
like
there's so many things in the world that are so messed up, and I'm not saying we shouldn't take strides. It's much like straws, right? I mean, like there's this big push for straws, which I'm all about. Obviously straws are terrible. They're plastic. They get into turtles. All kinds of other stuff. But at the same time, you just sit back and you go like, all right, well, let's not use a straw, but I'm gonna frickin' dump petroleum all over the or I'm gonna frack all over the country and destroy. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. But
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I think we need to. Every step is a good step,
right?
But
I think
there's
there's alternatives
so
that are fine. Like, what's wrong with paper bags? I feel like that's fine, right?
Well, trees, I mean, trees.
So
paper,
trees go back.
Not really. I mean, you figure the rainforest is being. I mean, that's more for farming than it is
Could
wood.
use hemp,
but
hemp
we
paper
have
bags.
to be more, I think, forward with planting more trees.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I guess it's just sometimes I'm all about the environment. I obviously, but it is overwhelming how effed we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
We fucked ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't.
And
our
it's only getting worse. You know what I mean?
Oh
my gosh, look at Brandon's up here. Imagine your mom being able to curl your.
Oh damn!
Damn, this is
probably true.
Brandon. This is
I love you, Brandon.
Brandon's awesome. He's of course
my cousin.
Yeah, cousin, my nephew. We love Brandon,
Hey,
and
Brandon.
and we got to. I keep saying. So Brandon is, for those of you guys don't know, that our relatives, my sister and her whole family are from live in Hawaii. She has since for 20 something years, almost 30 years, something like that. So it's nice that we have someone in Hawaii. It's a shame that we don't go visit them more often. Speaking of which, Jade, my daughter Jade, our daughter Jade, is going
She's
to
my
Hawaii. I do that sometimes. Like I
say
wonder.
that all
Yeah, I
the
say like, my daughter, and I think maybe
Like
people.
she's not mine.
Yeah, like she's not yours. Like, oh, he's got a daughter from someone else. But she's going to Hawaii. Are you
When?
in like June?
I don't know, man. I'm trying to just wait out this virus. I ain't trying to die out here.
God.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's scary, man. My girlfriend, she just went on a cruise, and she's got the flu now.
No,
and,
she's got the corona.
You
man.
know, I don't know. She might have corona. You know what I
Listen,
mean?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to travel
nice.
right
And
now.
It was
guess
really
what?
nice while you met her.
Guess
It was
what?
great while it
Yeah.
lasted.
She'll be sick for a week and then she'll be fine because that's what
Hey,
corona
we
does.
can hope.
Get
I
over it.
pray.
No.
I pray every
Is
day
she
about
80?
it.
Is she immune deprived
She might
or
be.
deficient?
She might
Then
be
she'll
a
be okay.
good-looking 80. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Noah doesn't look at age.
She looks
Laura doesn't
damn
think of
good
age.
for 80.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's true. You know what they say? Black don't crack.
Yeah.
She literally could be 80.
She
I don't
could
know.
be 80. That's true.
Shit don't crack.
Yeah, but
Speaking of not aging well, you're
What?
talking about my tan.
Oh,
crap,
what happened?
man.
Are you peeling?
No. Well, both. So obviously we were at lunch one day by the pool.
Yeah.
And later that night, so we didn't mention it at the time. Later that night, I looked at your mom because she's getting a little dark,
Very dark.
And I said, did you see that woman at by the pool, that old lady?
No.
And she goes, you mean the old lady that looked like she was like pickled or something like that? So I said,
she looked like Slim Jim, like she was
Oh,
dark.
leather.
She was like,
Oh,
she
leather.
Was, She
Okay.
was like very old. Like I swear to God, she had to
Bikini.
be like 80, 90.
Bikini.
like
Skinny.
skinny,
Wait.
Skinny.
like skin and bones, but like bronze, like a turkey that was actually a little
Are
overdone.
you not joking? You're talking
No.
80,
Oh, yeah.
90-year-old
She
woman.
She wasn't. I'd say
Well,
70.
that's how-
70?
well,
70.
So
maybe
wrinkly.
75.
She was-
wrinkly?
And been in the
Yes.
sun a little
and
too much.
Skinny, like
Skinny.
look like just it.
What
it
color
wasn't
hair?
attract-
Blonde?
White.
Yeah, white hair.
okay.
Yeah, but I just told your ma, I was like, please don't ever do that. Don't become that. Don't become
You
that.
know that's exactly what she's doing. No. That's
I said, should
That's
I send
her.
a picture to Jade like hashtag goals?
Oh,
I said,
no,
man,
I hope I look a little better. I feel like I already got
Yeah, 'cause
some
this
better
chick was, like,
muscle tone. Like,
super
she was just
skinny
like
and-
super.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean,
not
you
attract-
will.
And like. It was a little dark for me. That was
She was dark. I mean, she was dark.
I mean,
it just looked.
But
It looked
it was
fake.
funny.
It looked
and
fake.
that's what I said.
I mean, she might
was
have
like,
had bronzer on or something.
No, I don't think so. But it could have been because she looked like it was a fake tan almost because it was so tan. But it looked like her skin looked like she spent a lot of
I
time
feel like
in the
that
sun.
would-
she's been doing it her whole life. That's the whole thing.
But
which I mean,
But
I
your
can
mom's
appreciate,
so mean. She goes, I bet you any money she's got that raspy cigarette voice.
Well, well, wait. Preface that with we saw her the next day and she was sitting in the smoking chair smoking, and that's why I said that. It's not like whatever.
Hey, what you guys doing
She's
over
sitting
there?
in her bikini, all bronze, smoking
That's
her
the
cigarette.
life, huh?
Yeah, and the
That's
So
the
that's why I
life.
said that.
Oh.
Don't make me out to be so mean.
Oh man, he's looking up this. I know exactly what's popping up.
This her right here.
Oh, that's her. That is legitimately her. That is just with white hair, you know.
We'll Photoshop.
That's funny.
I will
She's
say
living her best life. That's
no,
all
she is
I
living
got
her
to
best
say.
life. I will say this to completely off topic, but your mom got us on the trip, and you guys know I don't watch a lot of TVs. I really hate series because it's a commitment. Weirdly enough, I start to watch a series. When was the last series I ended? I don't
know.
watch. I don't.
You
listen, I don't-
drive me crazy because this is what you do.
do the
You
same
start
thing.
a series and you binge it and you watch it, and you're Mr. One a day.
Yeah.
Don't save
But
it,
if there's
and
like-
then you
yeah.
get bored with it. That's
Yeah.
not what you
By
do.
time I'm
You
on
watch it till
by
you
time I'm
pass
on like the
out.
5th or 6th episode, I'm done. I can't watch it
too.
again.
Me
I
so
do this
bad.
with books. I do this with shows.
Yeah.
Well,
I do this
clearly
with,
you get it from
No,
him.
like it's bad. Like I have 3 books on my like nightstand where I am 200 pages deep out of 300.
Yeah,
3
man, you're-
books.
Yeah.
Where I'm
I don't know how you do
2/3 each, and I'm just
Yeah.
done with it. I'm just like, okay, I got the gist. I don't really care how this ends.
Yeah.
Let's start a new book.
Yeah, well, so it's
Crazy.
just like Haunting on Hill House. I love that. That was like the last
Awesome
series that I
show.
was starting
Did
to
you
watch.
finish
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah, I finished.
And I
that.
got to episode 6, and everyone says the last 3 are the best.
They're
I
awesome.
just haven't watched them. I'm
Yeah, they
done.
were good.
So my point is that your mom turned us on to
That Lock and Key.
Lock and Key.
I watched episode 1 last night.
It was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's a really good series.
It was
And
good.
so because we had some time and stuff like that. Now this is interesting. 10 episodes. We've watched 9.
Wow.
Will I watch the 10th?
Yeah, you will.
I don't know.
Well,
No, you
I thought we were watching it tonight.
My favorite
Well,
part
I won't be
in the
home till
first
late
one
tonight.
was
I know.
he was just like flipping off the house. And he was just like, looking.
Yeah.
And then the kid's like, what are you doing flipping off the house? And he's like, oh, it has more than one meaning. It means aloha.
Yeah.
And then the kid was like, aloha.
to his
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. It's a funny show. I'll watch the second one tonight.
Just wait. No,
It gets
you're
better.
gonna get hooked because it's
Yeah.
crazy. And then Jade, I talked to her today. She was like, "Oh my god!" She goes, "Wait till you watch the last one. It's
Oh,
insane."
Jesus.
Wow.
So-
Oh, wow. I just burped.
Yeah. But
Wow, she's already finished it. How long has it been out? I
Oh,
thought
her
it just
and
came
Michael
out.
binged it the whole weekend before last.
Okay.
Before we went on the trip,
Michael's-
that's what she said.
I mean, Jade's a binger.
yeah,
she's a
so am
binger.
I.
Jade will
Yeah.
literally
That's what I do.
like pick up Friends and watch all 18 seasons in like a month.
Yeah.
Me too.
And
I don't know how she finds
I
time
just
for
don't
that.
like I don't like series. I don't like TV. But this one was good. I hope I do watch the last one. The problem is now we're in the weekend and I'm here at the Reptarium till 9:30 and then tomorrow I'm
might
busy
be a
all day.
Monday
It
or
might be a
something,
Monday
yeah.
before hopefully I can see
I'll
the
wait.
last one.
I'll wait that long.
Yeah,
for
please
you.
wait.
But after that, you're on your own.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean I guess that's TV is I mean I know Netflix isn't theoretically TV, but
Similar.
Well,
But it's,
nowadays it is.
But yeah, I guess, but Netflix makes sense, I guess. I was talking to a buddy of mine, Robbie Kesey, who's going to come on, who is going to come on the podcast here shortly in the next month.
Really?
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
he's going to come up and spend some
Oh
time
my
with us.
God. That'll be
Nice.
crazy.
And of course, he had a show on Discovery Channel called Get Swamped. And it's been several
Swamp
years.
Brothers.
Or, it was Swamp Brothers. Swamp Brothers.
Yeah.
He
But
always
yeah,
says
he always said Get Swamped
Yeah, I was
because
like, wait a second.
Swamp Brothers. Yeah, here we go. Here's Robbie and the Swamp Brothers
sir.
boys. Yeah, there you go. So Robbie's on the left, Steven's on the right. Good guys, good friends of mine, dear friends of
known
mine.
them forever.
So he's going to come up. We were talking about TV
Cool.
today.
Well, that'd be cool.
And
because
about
he's
how
never
it's just
been here
changed a lot.
since we opened and
No,
stuff to see
no,
our
yeah.
stuff.
He's never been here.
when was the last time he was in Michigan? I haven't seen.
I don't
him
think he's
here
ever come to
for
visit us.
ever.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever come to visit us. So I go to visit him quite
Oh
often.
yeah, I've been there a
Or
few
we'd
times.
see him at shows and that.
Yeah,
kind of
no.
stuff,
So, anyways, I'm excited. You know, he's gonna. You know, he's a good dude and he's crazy. He's out of his mind. The thing that's cool about him is that not only does he have this rich history of reptiles, you know, glades, herp.
He's got a crazy damn life.
He's got a crazy life. He's, you know, he was CeCe DeVille's from Poison's bodyguard from the band Poison.
Back in the
That's
day.
crazy.
Back
I
in
know,
the day.
back in the
Yeah.
day,
I mean, we're talking.
Bodyguard?
Yeah, when I think by bodyguard, he probably gave the guy drugs. You know.
Yeah, he was just hanging out,
But
you
that's
know,
all good.
partying with them. But you know,
I'm not saying that happened. I'm just saying that there's a good. There's
Allegedly is what we
he
say.
was backstage, you know, having a good time.
Yeah, I think it was just like, hey, dude,
He got to tour with them.
Yeah, it's like you're my bro, so why don't you be my bodyguard?
That's cool. That's cool.
No,
Yeah.
he's got some crazy stories.
Yeah, so and he's seen so much in the reptile world. Now he has, you know, he's
He's got
obviously
so many
bred
cool stuff.
Yeah, he's bred Cuban crocs. He's got lemurs. He's
Yeah,
got, you know, tons of
lemurs,
venomous
birds.
snakes. You know, he's insane with his venomous snake handling. So
He's
yeah,
got-
no, he's good.
He's
dude.
got such cool enclosures for his alligators and
yeah,
crocodiles.
it's very natural.
They're-
Yeah,
I mean, it's literally in
a swamp.
It's in a swamp.
Well,
like he
and
just
that's
put
the
a
beauty.
fence around
Yep.
the
When you
swamp.
live in
Yeah.
Florida, you can do that. That
Yeah.
is,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'd never want to live in Florida, but I see the beauty.
I
like
might.
I would have,
Oh.
you know, I would rival Kennan with my tortoise collection
Oh,
if
yeah.
we lived in Florida.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
you
yeah.
could just do that stuff outside.
You kidding me?
So-
Yeah, but it's we're just, you know, when I was talking, because obviously he was on Discovery, we've been on Discovery, and we're just talking about kind of the death of TV. You know what I mean? Like
It has died. Huh?
Yeah.
it's
Oh, it's so
bad.
bad.
You know, I mean, it's like, you know, when I look at the ratings of shows now, it's crazy. Like
Yeah.
what would have been, you know, the 50th rated show of the night is now the 5th rated show of the night when it comes
Oh,
to
yeah,
ratings.
yeah.
Like we didn't get renewed after season 1, and we were rating about a 0.7 to 0.8 in that range. Now, and we were like 20th, 15th to 20th rated.
Nobody understands
And
what you're saying.
I know, I'm just saying.
That
you know,
is
it's-
what 700 to 800,000 viewers.
no, so okay, really quick. I'm not going to bore people with the Nielsen
No, you
ratings,
will,
but
but go ahead.
I'm very, you know,
Go ahead.
let's put it this way. Yeah. Let's put it this way. Literally, I had the executive producer from Discovery Channel used to call me about ratings.
Oh my goodness.
Are
You know,
for
because
real?
I'm
That's
dead
crazy.
serious. They would call
You drove
me about
crazy.
ratings.
The worst thing ever was you being on TV because
Yeah.
you
Best
obsessed.
thing ever.
And like literally, that's exactly. You would sit there and I'm like, what the hell are you talking
Yeah, I'm
about?
probably the only
Why
guy
are
that's
you
ever
hap-
been on TV that understands the Nielsen
Yeah,
rating,
he would just
you know,
say all this
system.
crazy shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
just stop. Just
Yeah,
stop.
but
Watch
just, so
the
basically, it's
show.
really simple. Quite frankly, if you rate 0.7, or let's just go. Let's say you rate 1.0. That's 1% of the population that has set-top TVs.
Okay.
That's it, simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
1%.
Yeah.
And right now, like the highest rated shows are typically 1 to maybe 2%. Like when the NFL's out, they'll get like a 10% or an 8% because
crazy,
a lot of people watch. But when it comes to actual television shows on Discovery or History or something like that, very rarely do shows even get 1.0 these days.
sub
So
one,
think about
yeah.
that. You know, 1% of the population. Now, going back to like I Love Lucy, they would get about 50%.
Shut up.
50%.
Shut up.
Back then,
That's all
four
they
shows
you
on.
had. You had
Yeah.
the radio, and then the TV was the new
Yeah, with
thing,
3
so
stations,
Most
yeah.
people did right.
Oh
Well,
my
shit.
God, that's
when
awesome.
we grew up, we had 1, 2, 3,
So-
5 stations.
Yeah, 5 stations.
five
Yeah.
stations.
Now there's thousands.
Right.
There's literally like
So it's
And on
thousands.
demand and Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and
So-
all the other stuff.
YouTube,
Yeah.
all
You
of
were
it.
talking about the percentage of people or whatever.
Yeah.
And I saw this thing on Instagram where the NFL, like somebody's suing the NFL and trying to make it so we like live in Michigan. So we can view every single Detroit Lions game.
Right.
But if I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan,
Yeah.
I might not be able to watch every single.
You got to buy the NFL.
Well, right. It has to be
I
sold
might-
out.
I might not be able to see every Baltimore Ravens game
'Cause it has to be
unless
sold
it's
out.
scheduled to premiere on the NFL Network or whatever.
Okay.
But you can buy the NFL ticket, which is like $300 a year or something
Yeah.
like that. And somebody's like, I don't know the exact thing that's going on, but somebody's trying to sue them to like say that every game needs to be able to be viewed by everybody in every state.
Well,
It's
there's
not
no
fair if you
right.
can't
There's
afford
no
it,
yeah, but
that
there's
you
no
can't watch
right
it.
though. I mean, there's no right. I don't know. You were probably a little long. The Lions used to do that. They used to black out games. If the Silver Dome wasn't sold out,
You
they would
couldn't
black
watch
out.
it.
Yeah, you'd.
Wow,
they-
really?
You weren't
couldn't
allowed to watch
Yeah,
it
I
locally.
remember
They
that.
would black it out.
That
Because
sounds
they're like, if you want to
effed up.
see it, you got to buy a ticket and come.
Yeah, so and that's why they were always like, if it doesn't sell out, so everyone would try to, sometimes what would happen is like corporations would come in and buy 1,000 tickets at the end just so people could watch it on TV.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's messed up.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was but I don't think that there's a right, like somehow there's like you have a right.
Well,
to watch
nowadays,
anything. Fuck it,
nowadays,
it's still
Brian,
private.
everybody has a right to
Everything.
everything.
Not really.
That's the that's
Not
the world
really.
we live in.
But anyways,
you know.
TV sucks.
I didn't find
That's
that, but I
that's the
did
idea.
find a man is suing the NFL for turning him on with the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh,
So there's
yeah.
that.
Well, there's that. Yeah, I can understand that. That should be successful. That should
Yeah.
be. Let's get caught up real quick.
Yeah,
on this real quick.
we got a bunch.
Let's see. Patricia says, "Getting late here from Sweden. Would love. Never want to miss your podcast. Sorry to hear about Forrest. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Thank you so much for that." Mike Bax is.
Yep.
I'm in upstate New York.
we got
We already
this
did
one.
that one. And obviously in the chat, we appreciate you guys in the chat for everything. Mike again,
that one.
almost got a fight in the bar recently for making a joke that we shouldn't ban straws just because turtles have Coke problem.
Lord.
Have a
That's
Coke
pretty funny.
problem.
That's pretty funny. Jade, the different spelling of Jade. Let's see. Hey guys, saying what's up from Mooresville, North Carolina. What size is
Hey.
Lucy's enclosures? Would love to get my 2 retics and something like that. It's actually 10 foot by 8 foot by 8 foot is her enclosure. Jess Perry said,
Hey.
hey y'all, you guys had a blast in Mexico, or glad you had a blast in Mexico and had some time to relax. You both deserve it. Can't wait for the Reptarium to be finished. Going to come out once the Gecko Basement is finished.
Ooh.
Love you. Please do. I mean, we're working on
Thank
the
you,
Gecko
yes.
Basement as well. It's something that's going to be coming up pretty soon. Let's see. Steven, big fan from the UK, been watching for years. Getting a giant sun gazer. Oh my gosh, I love sun gazers. Have you ever seen them? They're the ones that
don't
have
even-
huge like spikes
Oh,
on them and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Can you pull that up?
We
pull
went
that shit
to a
up, Jay.
collection in New Jersey, right? And he
Right,
had those.
right.
And I was
Exactly.
like, oh my
That was
God, we
leaping-
need those.
that was
Yes, this
leaping
was it. Yes.
Sleeping leeches?
I
leaping
agree.
leeches, thank you.
You
we
got
need
it,
these
brother.
because when I saw those, I was like, yeah, we need to get those. And you're like, oh, they're
Yeah.
kind of
It almost
expensive.
looks like a thorny devil.
Yeah, or like a Euromastix or
little
something
bit,
like
a
that.
little bit.
I
you know,
love
obviously.
those
Beautiful
things.
though.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
They're really cool.
Still
They're
got
really
more.
cool. Those are South
agree.
African.
Let's get 3.
Let's see. Jimmy from up north says, hey, hope you enjoyed Mexico record-breaking garter litter possible this year. I don't know if you're going to have one. I hope I do. But I know that. I
What-
think he produced some garters
What would be
as
a
well.
record-breaking garter?
Gosh, I tell you, I think
Clutch.
that there's literally been garter snakes that had close to 1 million.
What?
No, not a
Get out of here. You sound like Steve Bashy now coming in.
No, I think that up to 100 though.
Up to 100.
Wow, that's still
Could you imagine
okay.
that's still
Could you
crazy,
imagine
though.
1 million
Yeah, I'm like,
freaking garter
no,
snakes?
What is
no,
that?
I couldn't. Oh my God, what the hell am I going to do with a million
Okay, guys.
baby garters?
Today's vlog's going to be a little long. 1 garter snake, 2 garter snakes,
Oh my God.
999,997
And you wouldn't even
garter
be
snakes.
close. Oh my God, that would suck. And then you lose count and you're like, fuck.
Oh,
Brandy,
dump it again.
I love you guys, as you know, but I
you
just
too.
wanted to say I'm love how much I get to see Lori in these podcasts. We love to see Lori in these
Thanks,
podcasts too.
Yeah,
we couldn't
it's-
imagine Lori not being in the podcast.
Thank you for appreciating me
Heavenly.
since-
I'm going to always call her Heavenly
Heavenly
Niece.
Niece.
That
Yeah.
might be offensive.
I don't know.
Maybe
Do you
she
mind, Heavenly Ness? Do you mind if I call you Heavenly Knees? I just envision the best knees in the
I
world,
know,
man.
right?
Incredible knees. What a
I
set.
got to get back to work. I'll watch the rest of the podcast later.
She's packing.
Will you get into any ghost stories? I don't know. We might get into it later. Uh-oh.
Ghost story.
Can I tell you something
Wait,
first?
wait,
Can
wait.
tell you
I don't
something
know. I
first?
don't know. Can you write it down?
Okay, go ahead.
This is just really important.
Go ahead. Do it.
So, all right. I have to like move a little bit because this is so serious. I'm being so serious. So
right.
you guys were gone.
Oh,
Yes.
Lord.
This was the last day you guys were gone. Okay. So you got back on which days, just so I can get it mentally correct.
Wednesday.
You got back on Wednesday. So this was actually Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay. So a few hours before you guys got back, it was like 6 o'clock. Okay, and there was I was getting stuff ready for Zeus, like I don't know, some food, some medicine, all of that. I'm not joking. I heard the biggest bang in the back sunroom.
Oh.
The biggest bang. So much of a big bang that I literally thought that somebody was breaking into our back door.
Oh, no.
And I'm not joking. I'm being 100% serious.
I agree.
On God, that it was so loud, right? And I look back there, the food tub. We have these tubs of food where they're clipped down.
Yeah.
The food tub was flipped open.
Oh my gosh.
And and I think that something flipped open the food tub, and that was the bang. But it was just me and Zeus. I was in the kitchen. Zeus was next to me.
Right.
And I literally dropped my thing. It's like I was holding something.
Yeah.
It was so loud that I dropped it, and I peeked around and I was like, "What is that? What was that?" Like I thought there was an intruder, and I know it sounds so crazy, but I'm being serious. Like I heard it, and then also I've been having this reoccurring dream.
Oh.
And it's been a nightmare, and it's actually scaring me because it's so reoccurring that it's like stop. Like I don't even want to go to sleep because like almost every night I'm having the same dream. And the dream is that I am going about my day, and I have very lucid dreams and stuff, so that it's very realistic. When I'm dreaming, I actually do not know I'm in a dream.
Right.
It feels like it's actually reality every single night.
Yeah, lucid, yeah.
So I'm just in our house. Most of my dreams are in my house, and I go to the bathroom, and for some reason in this dream, it happens every time. I go to close the bathroom door, and have you ever closed the door and it doesn't quite close all the way, and you can pull it and it goes click?
Yeah.
But it will stay on the edge if you don't close it all the way, right?
Yeah.
So the door, it gets stuck, and I'm pulling it, like trying to get it to get click so that it can't get pushed open. So it's stuck, and I can't pull it shut, and I'm pulling it, I'm pulling. I'm like, what the heck? And then the door flies open and bangs, and then I scream, and then the dream's over.
Wow.
So you never see what's on the other side.
No,
that's
I
crazy.
run away, but it's the same dream multiple times a week where I'm trying to close the bathroom door and then it just flies open and it
never
bangs.
see why.
No, there's nothing on the other side. It's just something is like pulling the door, and then
for you psychologists out there, what
And
does
then I
this what does this mean?
and I can't get the scream out, and I'm just like and then I wake up and I'm like, fuck.
So
I'm
one
sorry
of the things
for
that
you about that dream, but I had a reoccurring dream in Mexico.
what was it?
I told you.
What?
I kept that one night. Every time I fell asleep, I kept having the same dream. And for some reason, I'd fall asleep. And we wanted 4 pillows.
Oh,
in
that's
our
right.
room.
I remember that. Yeah.
And they wouldn't give us 4 pillows. They would
She
only
was
give
so
us 2.
pissed.
And like I
How
was
dare
like,
them,
why won't you give us
motherfuckers.
4? We want 4. And I would wake up arguing like, I just don't understand. We just want 4 pillows. And like I woke up, like I wake up 3 or 4
Wait,
times
she
a
would
night.
she would say that to you?
No, she was trying to get the resort to give us 4 pillows, but they were only going to give us 2.
I wanted 4
In
pillows.
her dream, yeah, this didn't happen. This is just we had 4 pillows. We had 4 pillows.
I don't know why, but then that whole night,
So that's what
I'd
haunts
fall
her.
asleep and I'd have the same dream again, where I wanted 4 pillows and they wouldn't give me
that's
4
hard, man.
pillows.
It's a
I'm
tough
sorry.
one, man.
Like
It's a
it
tough
wasn't
life.
scary, but I was really mad.
And it just kept happening over.
Yeah, I wake up and I'm like, what? And then I go back to sleep and I have the same dream over and over again, where I'm arguing like, I don't understand. There's only 2 pillows. I want 4. No. You cannot have.
That's weird. That's a weird dream. All right, so can I tell my story now?
Yes. Sorry, I just had
No,
to
that's
get that
okay.
off.
That's okay. This was a little bit of a weird one. I didn't tell anyone about it, and just until we started talking about ghost stories, I thought about it. It was about a week before we left for Mexico. I was here alone at night. You know, everyone was gone. It was like 8 o'clock
Here
at night.
at the Reptarium.
I was in BHB, my office, right? So I'm sitting at my desk in my office, and across my office on that wall, there's the whiteboard, and there's a dry erase marker that was sitting in the little tray.
Yeah.
On your wall.
On my wall
Okay.
that I'm looking at from my desk, and I'm whatever, going through things, and I was about ready to leave, getting ready to leave. Like I said, it's probably 8 o'clock at night. everyone's been gone for hours. You know, I mean, it's been a long time, and legitimately, the dry erase marker, I don't see anything. All I see is in the middle of my door, dry erase marker falling from the sky, hitting the floor. That's it. I mean, we're talking 2.5 feet away from the 2.5 feet from the whiteboard. And I've been sitting in my office for at least 20 minutes, not another soul in the. So even if it was like somehow teetering on the edge, if it would have fell off the edge, it would have fell 6 inches, not 1.5 feet, 2 foot. Yeah, I don't know what that means.
So like something just
I don't know.
It seemed like it dropped from the center of the door, hit the center of the door.
It's so weird.
And I was just like, what the heck? And I've never had anything weird happen at the shop. Like, I'm here a lot at night alone. You know, I'm almost very frequently, I'm the last one here. Yeah. And I walk through the place in the pitch dark, you know, because I actually like I like going through the collection when it's dark because the animals act a little bit. Yeah, the animals act a little different at night. So a lot of times I'll even go in the basement, all the lights out, just with a flashlight or my phone, and walk around just to see what the animals are doing at night. So I spend a lot of time at BHB and the Reptarium in the dark, and I've never had anything happen, let alone you know, that like something like this. So I don't know what that means.
Like, I
don't know either, but I have to think about it.
It's so...
You have to think about it? You're going to get back to me?
Yeah.
I'm not joking. Like, that bang that I heard in that back room, it was so loud.
I get a question.
Wait. I just want to say this one more time. I'm not, like... I try to stay on guard for intruder, honestly, just so that I am not caught off guard if it happens, because it's a fucked up world.
I get you.
So when that bang was so loud, I genuinely thought somebody kicked my back door down. That's how loud it was.
Wow.
So I dropped my things and I peeked around the corner. I mean, not that if me peeking around the corner and there was somebody there, I don't know what I would do. I don't have a weapon or anything, but that's what I thought. I was just like, oh my God, I am getting robbed right now. Yeah. But there was nobody there.
Yeah.
I've never, that was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
Yeah. Do you have the
paranormal
dog
wise
dishes on the top of the thing like I do?
Yeah. Yeah.
So did maybe the dog dish was teetering and then like made
teetering.
It fall over?
How can a dog dish teeter, Mom?
Well,
we put it in the middle.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe you had it on the side and then it just like.
The dog dish didn't fall. There was nothing on the ground. There was nothing.
Well, that's why I just said it. Was there a dog dish?
No, it's just no. There wasn't a dog dish on top of it. There wasn't.
There's always been a lot of weird stuff at our house for whatever reason.
Well,
it's
this
just
is the only thing.
Unbelievable.
If a person came in the house and Zeus was there,
they'd be dead.
Yeah, Zeus would kill him.
Zeus would attack him. So
yeah, you're pretty.
You would know because Zeus would be going at him.
Yeah.
And then Phoebe would follow. So.
Well, I don't know. Phoebe might run away.
No,
she'll bark. She'll be super loud though, for sure.
I mean, look what she did to Jake.
Yeah, no, she's actually I think she
follows Zeus very well.
She'd bite and run.
Right.
Yeah, Zeus would just attack.
Would bite and bite.
Zeus would never. You can definitely see why German Shepherds are like a killer dog or a police dog, because they will die for you. You know.
And their teeth are just giant.
They're
man.
huge.
They're crazy.
But what were you gonna say? You were gonna say something before I finished my.
That was it. The
thing.
dog bowls.
The dog dish was what you were asking.
Yeah, I was saying, did you have the dog? Because that's what we always do. Is when they're done eating, we put the dish on top of that. So I wondered if maybe you just had set it on top.
That's the thing was that. You know,
it was empty.
I was a little, I was lazy, so the dog dishes were still on the ground in the kitchen.
Yeah,
it's just
who knows?
It's unexplainable, and that's what's confusing, right? Is that you try to do the Octum's razor or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah. Right, but there's not even a logical explanation for it.
I think that's a lot of things in life are just like that marker. You know, there's no explanation for it, and I don't know what it means. I have no idea. I don't know what any of it means, really. To be honest with you, I have no idea.
We need to write more ideas down on that board. Is what it means.
Yeah,
we need more initiatives.
That was probably someone saying like that was Brian from the future saying, "Get off your lazy ass. Let's go.
Write some shit down.
Yeah, get some. Yeah. Actually, there's a lot of things on that board that haven't been done, which is probably the most. Yeah.
But that's why they're on the board, because they haven't been done. If they were done, you wouldn't have it on the board.
Yeah. So anyways, we've got Dash New York. I want to say hello from New York. Love you guys. You guys are awesome. My name is Angel, and I hope I can
visit you guys
come visit you guys soon.
I want to touch upon one thing. Ricky Gonzalez. Thank
Ricky,
you
thanks,
for that.
man. I appreciate you,
thing.
bro.
And then we can do Sharon too. But
Yeah, Sharon, I would like to. I would come to the Reptarium, and all of you.
Okay.
All right.
Well, yeah, please
Great to
come.
see you.
Thank you,
always.
Sharon.
She's always supported us. Sharon's great.
Been around forever.
And so we appreciate you. She watches all the vlogs and comments and everything like that.
So you and I shared our stories of recent happenings.
Yeah.
Have you noticed anything weird happen to you?
No.
Literally nothing.
No.
Nothing. There hasn't been a creak, a noise,
Your mom
something.
sleeps pretty good.
Nothing at all.
No,
Nothing
you
that
know
was
what?
just like,
You
wow, that's
guys,
weird.
This is what I say, honestly. I think that, you guys are intrigued by this stuff. You watch the shows, you watch the scary movies. I am not a fan of it. I don't put it
Just doesn't
in me.
matter. Yeah,
So
for you.
I don't think that I open myself up to that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? I'm not looking for it. So it's not something that I pay a whole lot of attention to.
Yeah.
So no, I haven't. Honestly, the stuff that you guys say, I really haven't experienced anything.
It's really
Yeah.
interesting.
One time, I can't remember if you were home or not.
I don't know.
I did hear a noise in the basement,
Ooh.
and this was before we locked our front door.
Oh, jeez.
And I might have been home alone. I couldn't remember if you were there or not. But I heard something but let's
So
be
much
honest.
stuff down
I know
there.
we've got so much shit down there that obviously something just shifted because it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, for those guys.
But
Yeah.
but I was like I said, I think home alone. So I was like, what the hell was that? And I'm like, all right, is somebody in the basement? So kind of like you, I guess. Me, I'm like, all right, someone's in the basement. I can't even remember what I did. I looked around, I grabbed something.
Yeah.
And I had something in my hand. And I'm like, all right, well, if somebody's down there, all right. So I opened the door. I threw it open. I was like, hey! Yell. And I'm like, what do you do? And I'm like, letting you know, here I come.
Damn.
And I go downstairs and I had whatever it was. And I was kind of like banging it around. I was just like ready. I'm like looking around. I'm like, somebody comes out. Like,
Isn't it funny though that like if you see a scary movie and like something happens and then the people go investigate, like, come on, that's stupid. Why would they go in the attic?
Yeah.
But yet that's exactly what happens,
Well,
right? Whenever
they
you hear a
do,
noise, you do go investigate,
but
right?
also-
But they don't go like that. That's what I'm saying. They go like, hey, what's going on? I
Well-
go like, no,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
if you
yeah.
come out
With
I'm
a
gonna
crowbar.
fight you. Exactly.
Also, there's a stereotype. We are white. That's what we
Yeah.
do.
yeah, we
Yeah.
go
No,
into we
that's
go into
not
the
what I
jungle.
No, that's literally what you did.
Yeah, but I had
Yeah.
something in my hand ready to attack if somebody
I know.
jumped out.
I know.
Rather than
Stephen Miles Taylor, thank you so much, bud. Man,
Hey.
you're awesome. Inspire my life, Brian and Lori. Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you,
and thank you,
Stephen.
Stephen.
Oh,
Is it
my.
Stefan? I'm sorry.
I
It
think
could be
it's
Steven. It could be
Stephen or
Stephen.
Stefan.
It could be
I'm
Stefan.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but thank you so much. I
Miles.
appreciate you. You guys all are so
bonus
amazing
point
to
if
us.
you figure out. Okay, wait a
What's this
second.
now?
Oh, we did this last time. I was trying to pronounce it. I couldn't
Mountains.
get it. Nope. It's Montanus.
Montanus.
Semper Liberi.
Is it Latin?
Montanus Semper Liberty. Or
I
Liberty.
just wanted to
I
hear you
bet
all
I
try
got
to
close
pronounce
on
my
that
name
one.
again. Yeah, I don't know.
Montana.
Let me know if I got close.
Library.
Yeah, but
Damn. Did we get close?
Last
Yeah.
time it was far off though. for
so
Anyways,
the
thank you.
Yeah. So, anyways, back to so we're back from Mexico, obviously.
Yes.
Are we?
Yeah. It's a good thing. Let me just talk about this before we get into a lot. Obviously, a week from today we open at the Reptarium.
Crazy. huh?
It's a lot to
Oh
get
my
done.
goodness. A lot to get done.
Doesn't
get
feel
done
like it.
in the next week. A lot of new animals. So we're basically on the vlog starting tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, so starting tomorrow on the vlog,
Yes.
we're basically unboxing animals pretty much almost all week long. Some crazy cool
The
stuff.
coolest stuff.
The coolest stuff that I can't. I mean,
I
I'm
don't
blown
even know.
away.
You don't really
Yeah.
tell me, so I'm
No, I
excited
want
too.
everyone to get surprised by it. You know,
I
your
know.
mom
Film
doesn't
my
even know.
reaction. You never
I
film
showed
my
you a
reaction.
few things today.
I actually
Oh, we
wanted
should-
to
oh,
film
yeah.
your reaction yesterday, but
But
you weren't here.
weren't here,
yeah.
dude.
I was working.
Yeah.
Part time.
Yeah, working from home.
Part-time. My work computer's broken. I work from home now.
Yeah, no, and that no,
Whatever.
but so
I'm
yeah,
just
so I wanted to do that, but a lot of cool stuff. But so, anyways, obviously getting back to the trip a little bit. So, some people don't know this about me that I suffer from anxiety. right? You know, so I've got a little anxiety, and you know, I've been through a lot with that. Obviously, I do the best I can do to not let it hold me back, right? You know, but obviously, I've had, you know, plenty of panic attacks in my life and so on like that. So, and a lot of people are surprised to hear that because they don't think that I would be a person that suffers from anxiety, but I do. And I've been avoiding flying. Now, I have flown, everyone knows, all over the world, right? I've flown, I mean, to the moon and back 5 times.
Actual true.
Yeah,
we measured it.
Yeah, measured. We actually did one time, you know, do the measurements of, you know, flying to the moon and back, and I've done it. But the last 4 months or so, I've avoided flying really bad because the last time we were in Utah, for the very first time in my life, I had a panic attack on the plane for no real reason. You know, I mean, I
literally no reason.
Yeah, I mean, I literally sat down in my seat and freaked out, you know, before we even took off, you know, and it was a really horrible experience, to the point where I've literally like made up excuses why I can't fly to events over the last 4 or 5 months. So it was a big step for me to fly to Mexico. And of course, I see a therapist and stuff like that about this, and she's great, and she actually even like hypnotized me, which I think helped a lot.
Whoa.
You know, I think it did. I enjoyed it. You know, I think it calmed me down a lot. So anyways, point is that, you know, I did all right on the flight there. You know, I mean, I was a little anxious, you know, but every time, like, you know, I was anxious getting ready to board the plane, and then I made it. I was on the plane.
Yeah.
And then when I sat down, that was the hardest part because that was the part where I panicked last time. So there was a few minutes where I felt pretty anxious, but then it calmed down and I thought, okay. So once we take off, I felt pretty good, you know, and it was a pretty good flight down there, you know. And one of the reason I don't like flying and I'm anxious about it, not worried about the plane crashing, don't care about that, not afraid of heights, not afraid of anything like that. I just don't like turbulence. You know, and so thankfully the flight there was pretty smooth, you know, and I always love when a pilot comes on and says, looks like we're going to have a smooth flight. Now, on the way home, a little different story. And so first off, I hate when pilots don't say anything.
Yeah.
Right? Like they don't come on and say anything. And this person literally just, the only thing he said when we started to take off is flight attendants prepare for takeoff.
See, you're so funny. Honestly, I don't even notice that.
Yeah.
Like I've never thought of that until you just said that. I'm
Well,
like,
most-
never pay attention.
I hear it.
Yeah, most pilots will come on and say, hey, you know, from the flight deck, we've got a 3 hour and 21
But
minute
I don't
flight.
care.
Looks like
And
we're
I
going to have
don't
a
pay
few,
attention to-
you know, looks like we're going to have a few bumps over San Diego today or whatever, you know what I mean?
I've even experienced when we're mid-flight, they don't even say we might experience bumps, but they'll go, "Hey guys, we're about to hit some turbulence."
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
No,
peace
no.
out, right?
No,
No,
they
they
literally
do, they
say
do.
that. They'll be,
Yeah.
we're gonna experience some turbulence for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Something like that, and then
And
they'll
I
be like,
like
all right,
that. I
it's
would
all
rather
clear.
have someone do that. You know, I
yeah.
want communication.
I
You
agree.
know, as a matter of fact, I've told the story that or way back in the day, you know, before there were personal TVs and stuff like that, it was just, and this is like they were still ashtrays. I never was on a plane that smoked. That was before my time, but there were still ashtrays in the seats, which is crazy. But there used to be a plug. You couldn't watch a movie, and there was not even iPads back then. So,
Of course.
but you could plug into the plug and listen to the radio. And I loved it because, believe it or not, on most flights, one of the channels was the air traffic control. So you could literally listen to the pilot and the air traffic control going back and forth. I liked it because it kept me informed what was coming. Hey guys, we're gonna have some bumps, you know, or change, you know, blah blah blah. It was awesome.
No, I get that.
No,
yeah.
you're so weird.
I get it.
I don't.
So I don't like the fact when a pilot doesn't say anything, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's almost like an unspoken rule, right? It feels like you're kind of like breaking like a courtesy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like there's people on board.
You
You
know
should
that-
kind of give them a heads up that there's going to be shit going
It's gonna be
down.
a crazy bumpy road.
Yeah.
Right?
So anyway, so we take off, and by the way, it's very gusty leaving Mexico. So I'm thinking,
This is the guy that literally, you know, he watches the weather. He
Yeah,
does
look at the
whatever.
radar,
Like,
you know.
I'm like, all right, I got a flight. We're going to go here. He's like looking at weather patterns and looking at whatever. Oh
I got
my
a
God, I
nor'easter
don't know
coming in
about
for
this
the
flight
west.
is going to be rough because that, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What are you doing? So he
I did.
obsesses.
I do, and I shouldn't do that, but I do, and that's probably, you know. Listen, someone said something that's amazing. I told you this. Maybe I told you this. I told you this. Someone said something that
somebody knows.
somebody knows what I'm about to say. Someone had mentioned that people with anxiety live in the future. People with
this is what
depression,
we were talking about last
people
time.
with
yeah.
depression live in the past.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm always thinking ahead, which is probably my biggest problem. And I don't live in the moment very well. And living in the moment, you don't have depression or anxiety because you're living in today instead of the future or the past.
right.
Yep.
So I obsess about like weather patterns and like that. Regardless, we take off and I'm like, it's pretty gusty.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's gusty. But the takeoff was not as bad as I expected.
Right.
It was a little bumpy, but it wasn't that bad. We get on the clouds, it's like, all right. And I did look at the radar. It didn't look like anything significant was happening all the way up. So I was like, awesome. So we get about an hour into this flight, and holy
And then
fuck.
wait, and then we eat. And
Yeah,
then
we
I'm like,
eat.
you know
Yeah,
what?
she's gonna have
I'm
coffee.
like, no, I didn't want a coffee.
Oh, yeah,
I wanted
tea.
a hot tea. I'm
Hot
like, can I
tea.
get a hot tea? She's like, oh yeah. So she brings it to me.
Yeah.
Not even like 2 minutes later. It was so hot. Like, and I like my stuff hot.
Yeah.
But I was like, ooh, okay, let's sit for a second
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it was hot. Well, there you
Oh,
go.
no.
Well, we hit
Oh, yeah.
turbulence, and
Yeah,
we
turbulence.
hit like I've flown hundreds of times, and this is probably the second worst turbulence I've ever been on.
Jesus.
Thank God she had foresight to bring me like a second plastic cup to like put the tea bag in because like
The tea was flying all over the
it
place.
and it was hot and it's like going. I'm like, oh my God! So I grabbed this other cup and I put it on top of the coffee cup
Oh,
and I'm
okay,
like
that's
doing
smart.
this to help. Like it's still.
But you see,
spilled,
like
but at
people, like
least
all
it-
around us, like drinks are flying. I mean, this was like out of a
was-
movie.
it
You know,
was-
it was that much
very
turbulence, like out of a
turbulent,
movie. You know, like
I think
was
that
crazy.
there's turbulence like that. They tell you to buckle your seatbelt for a reason because literally, if you don't, you will fly and hit the ceiling.
Yeah.
Well,
That
it was funny because
happens.
one of the flight attendants, and ironically enough, as it started, not before it started, as it started,
Yeah.
the pilot came on and said, "We've got no choice but to fly through this. It's going to be rough for a little bit here."
Right. Flight attendants
take
go
your
to
seat.
your
And
seats,
it's
yes.
interesting because one flight attendant didn't go to her seat, and she's just like got her hands on one side of the wall, the other side, and she's like surfing it, man.
Oh, that's
It was
awesome.
crazy.
But she was bouncing, and I mean, but you literally like you look around, and you know some people are like smiling, thinking it's funny. Other people you see just terror,
Like
you know,
gripping, like you got that white grip where your knuckles go white. 'cause
Yeah.
you're just
Luckily,
gripping the seat.
did it help you the fact that I had that tea so you could focus on what was
On
going
how
on
crazy
there?
that was.
There was
Because,
nothing- there was nothing
Like
that's
it
gonna-
was like I was just trying, and I had luckily a couple napkins because the shit was just spilling everywhere. I'm like, please, just don't get on my pants.
So you would never do this thing. I forgot what the company is called. I believe it's called something like 0G or something like that.
No,
where
yeah,
they
yeah,
do
that-
like the.
No.
I think
It's
called a
the
parabola.
flight where they go up
Yeah,
and then they
it's
just like
called- well, number
drop,
one, it's-
and then you
it's-
just
yeah,
are
so-
zero
That's when
gravity.
Yeah,
you
so
can
it's
be
called
like in
a-
space.
yeah,
You're
it's-
kicking like
yeah.
soccer balls and shit.
Yeah, it's called a parabola, and it's they call
Parabellum.
it they call it
Same thing,
the
yeah.
vomit comet is what if you can Jay pull that
Well,
shit
yeah,
up
they do that
the
for
vomit comet.
movies and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
To emulate
Apollo
space,
13, the
right.
entire movie was well, not
Yeah.
the entire. Most of the movie was
Yeah.
shot on the vomit
I
comet,
remember that.
and you know you get
Wow.
there. You can kind of see that's
Yeah,
called
zero
the
G.
vomit.
Look
This
at
is
I
it.
nailed that.
This shape right here is actually the
be proud of me.
parabellum. Or
It's
parabola.
parabola, yeah,
Same
yeah, parabola,
thing.
yeah,
All same thing.
yeah. So yeah, so that
That's
it
awesome, huh?
flies up and
I love that.
I would like to try.
No,
that
yeah.
I would
experience
do it.
that.
But
Yeah,
I would
let's do
not
that.
do that. I would
Look at-
not do that.
All right,
no.
try to drink. Yeah, because
Team
like,
building
I'm never
exercise.
gonna be in
Shit.
space, but like you would get.
Well, you don't know that because Elon.
sure do.
Elon Musk said that he wants to make commercial,
yeah, commercial
space
flights, yeah.
travel virtually available for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it would be
For not
just
that
like a
much, yeah.
jet taking like
But
a
I'll
plane
still
somewhere
never
or
do
something.
it.
I
Yeah,
would.
and it's not. It's
I would
not.
go.
Yeah, and we're talking like
Fuck it.
20 grand or something like that. Is what he said. So it's
Right.
not out of the reach. You know, I mean, it's a lot of money,
is a
but
lot
it's
of
not
money.
like hundreds of
No, it's like a
thousands.
vacation, like a nice vacation.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Like a
people spend
super
20
nice
grand.
vacation.
I mean,
got
listen.
past that part of my life. When I was younger, I would have, but I don't think I'll do that.
Listen, you know,
I'm an
I think
astronaut.
about that 20 grand or 10 grand. You
wanted
know,
to
it's
be.
funny, you know, like I've never flown. We do fly first class when we fly. You know that. I you know.
When you
Sometimes.
fly.
Yeah, sometimes.
I get put in the
But
back.
I've never flown first class. Yes, that's a different story. This is
yeah, it is a different
Let's
story.
hear it.
It is a different story.
What story?
the story
forgot where-
when Noah flew.
it was from
coach.
L.A. Yeah, it was from
Yeah,
L.A.
we were flying to LA or something, and you know my dad has his ticket, I have my ticket, and you know the person's like, "Okay, guys, so first class boarding." My dad just gets up, and just
Oh
walks
no.
away. I'm like, "Wait a minute, my thing says E37 right next to the toilet in the back." I'm like, "Oh, okay.
Incredible.
And then I walk past, and my dad's like in the first seat. And he's like, "What's up?"
With the bib on already.
Yeah, I know, right?
Some steak, dude.
Yeah, there's
Exactly.
some crabs. Crab legs are coming out.
He's got the hot towel on his face. He's just like, "Oh, you want to use mine? You can use mine." And I just like go all the way in the back.
Use it to cover the toilets.
Well, in
your
fairness to me on that one.
fairness?
Listen, with fairness
To
with me,
you.
I was going on that trip before, so I had booked my flight well in advance.
okay.
And then you were coming at the last minute, and first class was sold out.
Oh, that's fair. That's totally
Yeah,
different.
and because
Funny, but
me and
fair.
you have
Was it
flown
fair
first class
or
before.
true?
Yeah.
Me and you have first. When I fly, we've flown
It is-
first class.
it is true.
But I have my point of this comment was that, like flying to Australia. Let's say it's $1,500 to $2,000 to fly to Australia and coach.
Coach.
And it's like 10 to 12 grand in
'Cause I
first
know
class.
We're, you know,
So
going
I've
to Italy.
never-
I know
yeah.
we're and you're like, yeah, it's this.
Well, even
much. And I'm
Italy
like,
isn't
you
that
can't-
bad.
No, it is.
Well, no,
It
it's
is.
like $4,000, but I wouldn't even spend $4
Right.
grand. You know, I mean,
Right.
I would rather be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna suffer for 8 hours in a shitty seat to save $3 grand. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's
But
crazy.
I would love one day to hopefully fly.
But with
those,
the LA ones, it's like you pay $400 for a ticket, or you pay like $1,000 for first class, and
Yeah,
you're like,
and it's-
okay, $600, like it's worth it.
for
like,
me, it's worth it because again, I don't spend money on myself
he's
or many
worth it.
things.
no, yeah, I get it.
Because he's the star.
Well, no, because I get so anxious about
Of
flying.
course.
If I can be in a seat that I'm a little bit more comfortable,
Helps.
Yeah.
you know, it makes it bearable. If I didn't
get
care about the bumps, you know, I would sit in the freaking toilet. You know what I
get
mean?
it.
But I, you know,
So first class, this is actually awesome. This is one of the coolest plane experiences I've ever had. So my last real trip was to Hawaii, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
And so you take a flight from Michigan, where we are, to LA, and
Yep.
then LA to Honolulu. I go onto the plane that's going to LA, and who's the first person I see?
who?
Big Sean.
Oh yeah, I remember. You
He's a
telling me about that.
rapper
In first
Yeah.
class.
in first class, and it
That's
was
crazy.
It was so crazy. It gets crazier because I walk in, and I see Big Sean. And I'm like, holy shit, that's Big Sean. And I'm like
In
a
your
fan.
head, not
no,
in-
yeah,
oh,
in my
no,
head.
okay.
But I'm looking at him, right? Because I'm just like, well, is this just a guy that looks like Big Sean? I'm like, I don't know. You know how it'd be on a plane. Everyone's standing still, so it's not like I'm walking by. I'm
Right.
just kind of looking at him like, oh my God, it's Big Sean. And then what happens when I'm walking to my seat? On God, one of his songs plays.
Oh my God,
On my
that's crazy.
shuffle playlist.
Oh my gosh.
I hear a Big Sean song. I'm like, oh my God. So I look down on the phone and like I click his thing
To
because
make
when
sure
the
he
song
looked
thing
what he
on
looks
Apple
like.
Music, he's wearing the same hat.
Oh
he
my
has the
God.
same thing as like his Apple Music banner and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, this is
That was
actually
him.
Big Sean. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, and yeah, that was a time where I was just like, only if I would have forked up some extra money
To sit
could've
next
been
to him
up
on the
there.
plane.
I could have been next to him,
yeah,
and
the
I would have
plane.
been like, "Yo, what's up,
Remember
Big
when?
Sean?"
Trisha Paytas? Is that
Paytas?
Paytas? Remember when she said she only flies first class because she doesn't want people to see her flying coach?
Right.
She's like, I gotta fly first class because if I fly coach and people see me in coach, they're not gonna think I'm successful.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. I could
That's
give a shit about
ridiculous.
that.
That's
But I will say,
ridiculous.
for
Let me
those of
tell
you
you.
people that haven't flown first class, it is hard to go back to coach.
It's really cool. That was
It
the
is
first
super,
time I went when I went with
it's
you to
yeah,
Utah.
it's super cool. And again, I'm not a freaking. You guys know,
It's
I am not a
Let me
frills
tell you,
guy
Jade and
with
I's
anything.
Disney trips are cheap as hell. As cheap as
Spirit.
we
Yeah,
can get them.
she like
and
does
it's
Spirit, yeah, yeah.
all the way. Shitty seats, little tray this big, but you know
Yeah.
it gets us there.
But
Oh, wait a second.
What?
Look who it is.
no, it's Jade. It says,
Hey, Jade is
Hey,
on there.
Jade.
Jade is on here. She actually, Jade
You
gave
like
us
my tan,
money
Jade?
so that
I told you I got.
no,
Oh
she
my
said no.
gosh.
You're looking real tan. Thank you, Jade. I appreciate.
I know because we're the tan ones and
I'm
you're
that-
looking white.
I'm that pearly white
So
boy.
wait a
obviously my
second,
boy-
I'm so confused. So Jade, you couldn't do the super chat, but you figured out in Michael's name. So
Yeah.
Well, Jade probably doesn't even have a
And see,
YouTube account.
so that is
Miss
that,
you.
that so I hope that makes you feel better for all the people in the chat room that we only do super
Yeah.
chats that our daughter has to pay
Yeah,
us to
she
talk.
told me that too. She goes, I tried to comment, but you never did, so I had to.
So
figure
I
out how to
apologize.
super
What it
chat.
is it's hard to keep up with this stuff.
The whole
Speaking
thing
of-
would
yeah,
be
yeah.
just answering comments.
Yeah. So and speaking of which, rise up. It
Rise
says,
up.
I absolutely love watching your daily vlogs, getting to know your amazing staff, and these podcasts are the best. I wish I could send more. Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
No, but thank you. I mean, everything.
That's more than enough.
Yeah, that's more
Thank
than
you.
enough. And obviously, Mike is always the man too. The Latin phrase, what is it?
What we were saying
Mountaineers
before.
Are always
Semper
free.
libera. Mountaineers are always free.
That is a
so
saying.
You're a mountaineer?
of
I'm
that
a
guy's
mountaineer.
name.
That was
Gino
first car was a
Gino
mountaineer.
Gambino.
Gino Gambino. What
That's
a Jersey name. Dude.
That's a freaking name.
Gino
right there, man.
That's a Jersey
Gino
fella.
Gambino eating a tail of ham.
Yeah, it's pork roll, dude.
Any future Reptarium expansion feature captive ghosts. If we could capture a ghost, that would be dope.
Dude, imagine
We
that
should just
got a
keep
little-
one of the enclosures empty and tell people that. That's funny.
Right.
I saw someone say
That's
that
a
they
good
can't wait
idea.
for Tyler Nolan meet up, and yes, Tyler's going to be up here on the 25th for a podcast.
Oh, I can't wait.
And hang out with him.
I wanna
obviously,
get a
Jay.
little tap from him.
Christine Kilroy just wanted to check in and say hi before heading to dinner with my brother and my mom.
Enjoy your dinner.
Hey,
Thank you so
Christine,
much,
thank
Christine.
you.
Thank you.
I'm
as always.
hungry. I
Have a
haven't
great
eaten all
dinner.
day. Save me some.
Susie, 1969. That's when I was born, man. That's
Damn,
My
you're
mom,
aging
too.
yourself.
Yeah,
I
love
know.
your. I'm a
It's old as
'60s
hell.
kid. Love your podcast. Follow her on social media for years now. The Reptarium looks awesome. Thinking of you all this week. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
from
you,
the
We'll
Sue.
start.
We'll take all your
Susan,
vibes.
thank you just for being great.
Susan, thank you for the support.
What is that name? Galicia.
Goloshita.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Goloshita.
Got it.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
I hope you're having a wonderful trip in Mexico. We were back from Mexico, but it was a
I
great
am.
trip.
I'm still
you know.
on the beach in my
I
mind.
can't wait to
so.
get back
That's
to
fine.
Reptarium.
That's why you live in the moment. To
It was
create
nice. You know,
memories.
I will say, we were there for 5 days actually, and the first 2 days were rough on me, because I had a really tough time shutting it down. I mean, it was probably the hardest I've ever had. Those first 2 days, like it was painful to do little. You know what I mean? Like I was forcing myself to not do things because I was like, I need a mental break. But it was like it was. I hate to say it, but it was almost painful for me to not.
You get so used to living in chaos, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is. That's our life is chaos.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's controlled chaos.
It almost feels like this, right? Because I think I understand. It feels like when you are doing nothing, that you're useless. You're like,
Yeah.
why am I wasting my time
Yeah.
doing nothing
I have so
when
much
I
to
could
do
be
and-
productive and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's a feeling of I understand. I kind of get what you mean.
Yeah, and it was tough, And then the third day, like I said, we went on the excursion. It was a great day, but it was a busy day, and we didn't get back. I mean, the drive home was like 2.5 hours.
Wasn't really a rest.
Yeah, and the drive home was 2.5 hours at night. It was like brutal. We were in a kind of a small car. It was. Your mom slept
I
a
dozed
good.
off.
Yeah, she slept a good chunk of the way home, and I was just like, oh my god, when are we going to get back? But then unfortunately, the last 2 days we'll talk about this at the end of the podcast. But there was some kind of bad news that
Coming
kind of
up here.
made it pretty hard. But I will touch on it pretty quick. But right now, I we'll talk in the next few minutes. We'll get into that topic because it's a pretty heavy topic, and we wanted to
Yeah.
talk about a lot of things.
I agree.
The Reptarium is obviously coming together good, so that's good. Lori, we just have to. I mean, we have a lot to do.
There's so much to do, man. It's crazy.
Gift shop is looking great, Lori.
Yeah, it's looking
Lori,
amazing.
Really
you're the
good.
one
Way
that headed
better
up
than I
that.
expected.
Listen, this is the thing. I already told you. I know I've done it. I hope you've done it. Every day I have my punch list.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm doing.
We don't.
is I'm
No,
just
yeah.
like, boom, 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 boom. Because
Oh,
every
yeah.
day has like literally 100 things that needs to be done. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Is everything gonna get done
No.
before Friday?
No.
No.
But you know what? The only people that are gonna know it is me and you. Like,
Well,
you know what I mean?
don't
It's
know
gonna-
about
it-
that. I
it's-
mean, I
no,
think that
it'll
there's
be
some
good.
things that need to be,
It'll be good,
Yeah.
but like it's just like before. As the weeks went on, there was a lot of finishing touches and stuff
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
nobody else notices, but we do, and we'll keep doing it. We're gonna get the major stuff done.
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
There's too many little things.
Yeah, no, it's not. I'm not expecting it to be 100% done, but hopefully it'll be
99.999.
I'm even hoping it's 95% done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
Like tonight, we're open at the Reptarium, and we we have some people that we've allowed just to check it out tonight. And it's obviously different when 80% of the cages are empty. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's like it looks cool, but there's nothing in them. You know,
open, right? Because there's still we are letting people go into the
See
new
the
park,
flow.
but it's not completely full yet.
No,
and stuff.
there's hardly any animals in there, and the fish spa's not working.
You're kind of getting the preview because
I just wanted to see what the flow of traffic was going to look like this weekend. And
it was pretty funny because I'm not going to lie. Like we were going crazy before open, just trying to get whatever. And then literally, I think pretty much every single person just went into the new part. Because like I was trying to finish whatever and I go and like Bruce and Jessica are over there and there's animals and there's nobody in the old part. And everybody's and Bruce is like, where's everybody?
Because when we opened, there was like a good 30 people walking through, you know, like waiting.
New part. You're just like seeing it. No animals are out. Because it's not at that point.
There will be next weekend though. You know, we'll be able to take animals out next weekend, and I can't wait to share with you guys all the cool stuff.
You guys are gonna love it, man.
It's just so dope. I mean, some of the animals that we've gotten and are getting are going to be great, and we'll bring some BHB animals over as well.
And there's new stuff at the old part too, because we're kind of flopping stuff around.
Exactly. So there's some new stuff, and that even there'll probably be a few changes over the next few weeks too, not just this week. Corona. You know, it'll probably take us a little bit, but
But like even beyond like the cool animals and all that stuff, the atmosphere of that place is awesome, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I
cool.
if I'm ever bored, I mean, you guys have seen, I usually sit down in there and just hang out because it's just a beautiful place.
Yeah, it's a different feel in the new place, and I think it makes the old place feel bigger and better.
For sure.
It's exciting, and I can't wait to, like the new animals that we're getting. The thing that's neat about them is it's not like, I guess in the past, let's say if I was going to get a new ball python, this new morph ball python, I'd be really excited. Like, oh my God, I'm getting this, pastel lesser leopard clown ball python. But it was still a ball python.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I was learning anything new about the animal. I was enjoying the look of the animal and having it and excited about the project, but I wasn't learning about, we're getting animals I've never worked with before. So I'm looking forward to enjoying to learn
indulging.
What they're going to look like. What are they going to act like?
That's what people have to look forward to in the vlogs is there's some animals like some icon ones.
Yeah,
like
iconic animals.
I mean, we're talking
that,
like you never even thought you'd have.
Well, and already.
I'm so happy with one of them. I've been talking about one of them that we have. I don't even know if I can talk about it.
No, let's keep it. Let's keep it. Let's keep it a set. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about though.
But I've been telling you to get one of those for so long.
And that's the thing. Without ruining it, up until recently, you couldn't get one of those. Even if you wanted one.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you couldn't. I mean, they were like unavailable, period.
Because of, so not no law, just like availability.
Well, I mean, it was based in law to why they weren't available up until recently. And I don't really, to be totally honest with you, know why they are now being available. But nevertheless, it's going to be interesting to see, because every time you get a new species of animals you never worked with, whether it's, another different type of snake or a guanid or a monitor lizard or a crocodilian, they act different, so you got to learn their behavior. You've got to learn how to work with them. And that's exciting, because like you said, Lori, it's going to be months of learning these things and teaching them. Some of these animals we're going to be able to have a relationship with, and that relationship is going to be radically different than the relationship of the animals that we have now. And that's exciting, and to be able to, again, like I've said, for people to come in and hold salt, the albino alligator is a great thing for me, because I get to see something that you just can't do anywhere, is hold an albino alligator, and that's what some of these animals are going to be like, stuff that you might have seen on the internet, but now you can literally see them and touch them and hold it. And it's going to be pretty amazing, so,
guys are going to flip for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. But, awesome. I guess we'll get into, a kind of an emotional thing. Let's hit the super chats real quick. Beer Gut Wonder. What's up from Northern Ireland? Love you guys over there in Ireland. Thank you so much.
We got the UK in the house today, man.
I went to everywhere in Ireland.
Yeah.
I loved it all. It's also different. Like, I was into Dublin, and like Dublin's more city, right?
Yeah.
But then you go to like the more rural places, and it's so weird. It's like there's like rolling no hills. Houses. It's just hills and just random stone structures, and there's this one really cool I forgot the name of it, but it was like these weird octagon shaped stones.
Oh, I know.
They're
What
like
was it called?
monoliths. Like
No,
monoliths.
no, no,
No,
they're
no, no.
naturally made. They're,
It's like it's a
natural.
bridge. There's like this legend behind it that this giant built
These
this
things.
bridge. Yes.
they're called Towering Columns, Giant's Causeway. That's
Giant's Causeway.
that's
Yes,
it.
that place was.
I wanna go
so
so bad, Noah.
cool. I was there. I literally spent an hour or two just crawling on these rocks, going everywhere. There was people blowing whistles at me. Get down! I'm like, "F you! I'm from America." I'm just crawling.
We
on
do
these
what we want.
rocks.
We're free.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was so cool. I love Ireland.
That's awesome.
Y'all are awesome.
Well, cool. All
Same
right,
with
so
Scotland.
it sounds from Scotland here. Actually, I can't see it. Tara says, "Hey from Scotland. My daughter Tia Lee and myself love watching and keep up
Thank
the good
you,
work.
guys.
Thank you." And then we've got
Hawaiian mommy.
Oh,
like I
here we
said,
go.
I think you
Dude,
should
it's
have a
just
new
a
tour
lot
with
of money.
Lori. Who are you? Sip wine with Lori and the tour. We've said we're going to do a tour, and Lori put a price of $1,000
Yeah, the
on.
problem is it's going to cost a lot for me to do a tour. So I
Lori
don't
wants
know
to
how
price
many
herself
people
out of
want-
the, Lori wants to price herself out of actually doing the tour.
Hashtag Steve Grills.
That's right, Noah.
Yeah, Steve Grills. If you guys didn't
Likely.
watch the vlog today,
Go check it out.
Go check it out. It's Noah does his Steve
Every
Grills.
time,
I think we're
every
gonna have
time
to come up
that
with that more.
that Lori and Brian go away, me and Noah always film a dope
Yeah,
Steve Grills.
Steve Grills.
The
So,
anaconda.
So is there some more
Yeah,
here?
we still got a couple
R.
more.
Miller, she's always great. Thank you so
Miller.
much. She's comments every day.
Carpe diem.
Carpe diem. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tim, new tour ideas for Lori. Lori's Reptile and Rose wine
Rosé.
Rosé wine
Ooh.
tasting.
Wine
It's
tasting.
not a bad idea,
It
to
is
be
a good
honest
one.
with you. Tim Vincent, just
you,
for the
Tim.
love. Thank you so much, Tim.
And that's it.
Thank you
all right,
both,
good.
Tims.
So, obviously, I wanted to wait till the end to bring this up, and
Yeah.
it's a tough one, man. I mean, it's like, and I'm going to do my best not to be emotional about it, because it's been emotionally draining this last 5 days since the news hit. For those of you guys that don't know, my good friend Forrest Fanning passed away last weekend, and it's and that happened. That's what I talked about the last couple days of our trip. Monday when we were there, we got the news. I spoke with Des, his wife, and it was beyond shocking. And we won't go into details because it's not our place to talk about. The family will make any decisions about what will be let out about it. But he passed away, and he was a good dude, man. And I know everyone says that about people that die, but. Forrest was a one of a kind in a lot of different ways. I mean, obviously myself and him, he was supposed to be here next Wednesday.
Yeah.
For sure.
He was going to be on next Wednesday's podcast. He was bringing us a croc monitor. I right now don't know what the status of that croc monitor is, because
cares?
obviously,
Exactly.
that's not
It's not
where,
important.
that's not
Yeah.
important. But I was super excited about. So obviously Forrest's nickname or his handle on things was Zoo Dreams. And it's because he dreamt of owning a zoo one day. So I know, as a friend of mine, and we've known each other for 20 years, he was really proud of us with the Reptarium. I mean, the handful of times he came up, you could just see how he was so happy that we were doing something that he wanted to do and hopefully could do one day. And I was so, out of all the things that were going on with the Reptarium, honestly, it was really high up on my excitement level to show Forrest. And I was so looking forward to next Wednesday when he was going to come, just to see what his reaction was going to be, because he was so blown away when he first visited the first Reptarium. And this place is so much more extreme.
Well, not better.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
just
just
like-
different. It's just more grand.
Right.
The enclosures are crazier, and just our approach has been so different. And, I'm sure he saw it online, obviously, but there's something different in person.
No, for sure. And I just want to preface with too, like, it's funny, like you said, we've known him forever.
Since he was a kid. Yeah, he was a kid. Yeah.
So he's followed us, and you know what? I mean, whatever. Like, he's told us, he's looked up to us forever, you and I, and that's what he says, like, this is what you and, me and Desiree, like, emulate to be like you guys, like that, that's something special. But on the other hand, like you said, like, we were doing something that he wanted to do. And the genuine thing is, like, most people, like, get jealousy or
Right.
get
Yeah, for
whatever.
sure.
And like, that's not him. Like, he was just
Yeah.
like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
What you guys are doing is awesome. And yeah, I want to do the same thing. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and like, you don't find that a lot. Usually people
Yeah.
get pissed when somebody else is doing what they want to do.
Absolutely.
And that's not how he
It's like he was
No.
just excited for the animals to be in zoo exhibits. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
well, he was just excited for us to
Yeah.
follow our dream,
sure.
and it was, Forrest was a guy that, really, really had our back.
Oh.
I mean, everyone knows that we have in the past and still do to some extent get a lot of internet hate, and some of our friends stick up for us. Some of our friends sit on the sideline but still love us. Forrest was on the front line. I mean, when someone shit talked us, he attacked. I mean, because he knew the truth. He knew
Right.
that
and he wasn't afraid to say it.
yeah, and I
Right.
seen him attack people in front of me. Call them out about that. And that was
Special.
it was
It's
a
rare.
special thing he had nothing to gain. He was just being a true, genuine friend. And he was also the guy that I would call every time I was like, hey, do you know where I can get this animal?
Yeah.
Or, hey, I'm going to go to the zoo. Do you have a connection? He was the guy that I could rly on
That's
every
kind
single
of
time.
what stood out to me about him was like, it was so crazy to me of his brain was a reptile dictionary.
It really
Yeah.
was. I mean,
thesaurus.
You got
Oh,
this.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
no, he
And
was. He knew so much.
He
yeah.
would he's very similar to you, where like you could talk forever. Like I guarantee, like if you put you two in a room,
Oh
Yeah.
my
and I'm
God.
sure it's happened
and it
countless
did.
of times.
Believe me,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
Those
guys
two
would
in
just
a
talk
room, yeah.
for
I was just like, oh my
3
God.
days.
And some of the coolest stories I've ever heard were from both of you together.
Yeah, and
for
that's the
sure.
thing. I mean, we obviously traveled a lot together, Indonesia, Africa, and
Yeah.
like I said, I was looking forward to bringing up some of those stories next week when he was on the
Yeah.
podcast
I mean,
because,
shit, yeah.
it sucks because, there were a couple experiences that happened on some of our adventures together that only me and him experienced, There was no one else around but us. And I'm going to tell you one story real quick. And it was, I talked about almost dying in Africa. I'll tell you the quick story of it. And in the levity that he brought to it, it was amazing. Probably one of the most memorable things I've ever happened. So it's going to start with the fact that South Africa is very dangerous, especially driving at night, So police will pull you over and kill you and steal your stuff. So they don't rob you, they kill you and take your money. Police will do it. Tow trucks will do it. Other passengers, whatever. If you have a flat tire, you drive on your flat tire, you do not stop because you could die. And that's just the truth. That's not. I love
Crazy.
South Africa. Love South Africa. So we're down in Durban, and it's just me and Forrest with some friends from a place called Ultimate Exotics. Great guys. They had hosted us down in Durban. We had a really good time, but we were going to head back to Johannesburg. And in the morning, Forrest was looking for a zoo that he had that wanted a 15-foot Nile crocodile. Had to be 15 plus foot. So we were going to go visit some Nile crocodiles, some farms, and see if he could find a big Nile crocodile. So we had to be back in the morning, and it was about a 5-hour drive. So we decided that we were going to head out, in the afternoon and drive. Well, it was evening actually. And just by happenstance, a friend of mine in a place called Moy River, which was about 2 hours north of Durban on the way to Johannesburg, literally right off the road, asked us to stop by. And thankfully, I did. Well, in one way, thankfully, I did. In another way, maybe this whole situation would have happened if I didn't stop, But we stopped. We had a quick dinner. And he had told me, he reiterated, do not stop if something happens. People will kill you, And so we left Moy River, and we're about 45 minutes away, and it's nighttime now. And sure enough, Forrest is driving, and out of nowhere, this huge chunk of steel is in the middle of the road. He crushes it.
He pulls an Aunt Becky.
Yeah,
Just runs right over it.
rips the frickin' gas tank off the car.
Guess what? You're not driving with no gas tank.
Yep.
Nope, they tried, but
so
it
literally the car
stopped.
dies, and we pull to the side of the road, and and you can smell gas. It's scary, you know, and to kind of put it into perspective, about every 45 miles, there's a gas station or service station. We literally are right across from a gas station. So we now pretty much are sure we got sabotaged, right? You know, like we got, you know, someone put that in there. So we would break down there and now we're in trouble. So we first thing I do is I call the rental car place and they put me on hold, and then they say, we'll call you back. The next call I make is to Paul, my friend from White River, who's a very wealthy guy. And he goes, get into the gas station, do not stop, do not talk to anyone, and I will have someone come get you. I know someone that's about 15 minutes away. You know, a tow truck driver about 15 minutes away. He goes, I'm reiterating, do not stop and talk to anyone. So as we're walking up to the gas station, and I've got my backpack, it's got my laptop, my cameras, everything else. But our luggage is in the car, and I'm like, fuck it, if they want to steal our luggage, let them do whatever they want to do. And so as we're walking up, sure enough, we got these 4 native guys kind of surround us as we're walking into the thing. And so we like really hurry up and get into the gas station. And I'm on the phone. I'm calling, you know, Paul back, like, dude, I think we're in trouble. You know, these guys are here. And as I'm in the gas station, you know, the 2 of the guys are literally at the door, staring at us through the door. And so he's like, all right, my guy's on the way. My guy's on the way. I then call Lori, actually, and, you know, poor Lori. And I'm just like, hey, Lori, I don't know if we're going to live.
Literally, that's how he answers the phone.
Oh my God.
I answer the phone. He's like, oh my God, I'm freaking out right now. This is what's going on. I literally might die. I just want you to know. And I'm like, what? Like, what right now? Like, what is going on? And he tells me this story, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? Like, literally, you call me so I can hear you die? Like, this.
And you know, you can't call 911. There's no 911, and they might kill you too. So we're pretty screwed. So let me just stop right there for a second and back up. Now, there's a movie that's called War Dogs.
War Dogs,
Okay. It's with Jonah Hill. And
it's a good movie.
It's based on a real story.
Oh,
and they're like gun runners for the government. They're like buying, you know, doing gun contracts and stuff like that. And there's this one part where their guns get confiscated in Jordan. They need to be in Iraq. And so then they're gonna they end up getting this guy named Marlboro who was gonna truck them through the Triangle of Death to get to Baghdad with these guns because they needed to get the guns to Baghdad and they didn't want to lose the money and stuff like that. Now, as they get into the thing, you know, Jonah's like, everything's going to be good. The other guy, I don't know what his name is like, is this safe? We're you know, this is, and the guy looks at him and he goes, oh yes, perfectly safe. He goes, oh, so things are going to be good. The guy goes, yeah, 50-50. He goes, what do you mean 50-50? And he goes, you know, 50-50, we make it, you know? And so the point is that when you're in South Africa, one of the sayings that everyone says is like, if you go, hey, want to go to the store? They'll go, 100%, yes, 100%. And so myself and Forrest through the whole trip were saying, you know, 50-50. You know, because you go, hey, you want to go to the store? 50-50, you know? So about this thing. So literally this whole thing's going on. Now back to the gas station. One of the guys walks into the gas station and he does the thing where he's like looking at a product, like picks up a product, but stares at us across the way. And he's slowly getting closer and closer to us. And Forrest is like, dude, if they get to us, we just got to give them everything we have. And I go, they're going to fucking kill us. So we got to fight, you know? And I'm like, you know, and this guy's getting closer and closer. And my anxiety is through the fucking roof. I mean, I'm like, we are going to die. This is the closest to death I've ever gotten. And literally, I look over at Forrest. Now, I mean, it's like really evident something's going to happen. And I look at Forrest and I go, dude, do you think we're going to be fucking okay? And he looks at me and he goes, 50-50. and so my point is that I wanted to tell that story.
So it broke the ice, like, obviously.
It was the first time I smiled through the whole thing. I was like, you're such a fucking asshole, you know? And so interestingly enough, literally seconds after that, the tow truck driver shows up with a gun. He comes in, shows up with a gun, and he says, Brian, I said, right over here, the guys run off.
Good.
And so the tow truck driver literally tells the story that he's like, hey, listen, he goes, in this very parking lot, at least once a week, people are killed. He said, this is very dangerous right here. He said, as a matter of fact, last week, some white guys, not they were still South Africans, were what they do is they put tires around you and they pour gas in it and light you on fire.
So it's like a tar pit.
Yeah, and
So weird. Like, hey, why don't you
do
that?
Just take the shit right and leave? Why do you got to kill the people?
Well,
Torture.
they don't want any evidence. Yeah, they
It's
because
like evidence,
the police
like,
are never never going to do anything.
Right, exactly.
No, that's what I mean. Is like, why do you care about evidence? The police aren't going to do anything in the first
It's
place.
just the way it is. But anyways, point is, I was looking
But
forward
he
to.
wants me to
So
go there,
dumb.
but okay, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I love it. But,
I love it.
It seems like a good place though.
I don't know. I want to go.
Thrilling.
I would want to go to Brazil. I want to
it's
see.
very dangerous there too.
Yeah, you could have the same
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
happen for sure. Of course.
Oh yeah, of course. But I want to see. There's a few things I want to see in Brazil. I know this is a little off topic. I'm sorry. I'll make it short. I want to see the Jesus,
Yeah.
the big Jesus,
It's Christ Redeemer. Yeah.
and then also I want to. I don't know. I
Christ
want to
the
see a
Redeemer.
live
On the list.
football match
Yeah.
there.
Football.
I don't know. I love sports and anyways,
Yeah,
but
football would be good. But so obviously, I'll be honest, and like I said, I've cried a lot the last few days, and I've not slept much the last few days. It's going to be hard to not imagine being able to call Forrest or travel with Forrest. I mean, he was
yeah.
always entertaining, and not always in a good way. Sometimes he was very frustrating because he was very. He was a unique guy, and
Sometimes he just buys a damn kangaroo on your trip.
yeah, just
for
buys
no
a kangaroo, and then
A wallaby.
A wallaby. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Don't get it
so
twisted.
Forrest, we were down in Florida doing a little Florida tour where we were visiting a bunch of people, and we
Yeah, because
visited.
you were on that one too.
Oh,
you
I
were
was
with me.
I was taking care of it.
Yeah, because Forrest was freaking out. He's
Yeah.
like, "You guys don't fucking understand what it's like to take care of a wallaby."
And I was like, give me it. Why do you?
Yeah.
And I was like milking it and shit, and then like had it milk, and I even,
You went on a date with that damn thing.
I went on a date with Forrest Wallaby, and this is 100%. Well, I didn't go on a date. Okay,
You took it to a girl.
so
though.
this is what happened. No, I know.
He did take it. He did take it.
So, God. But anyways, I don't want to get too far into it, but basically what happened is there's this girl, and I'm just like, oh, like,
I got a kangaroo.
I'm sure no one's ever, brought a wallaby to
Yeah.
her. Maybe I'll impress her. I don't know what I'm thinking.
sure,
I'm young.
dude.
I'm dumb, bro.
I'm thinking I got a wallaby and I'm gonna try to use it.
No, yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I go to Forrest and I'm like, Forrest, like
I
I'm
need a
like,
favor.
I need a salad right here, man. Like,
Can I borrow your
can I please borrow your wallaby? And he's like, fuck yeah, take this thing. He's like, give me a break. He's just like, just make sure that I have it by the end of the night. And I'm just like, thank you.
Bet.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it gets better. I have this wallaby strapped up around my neck, just like
it's living
'cause
in a
literally,
pouch. Yeah, it's living in a pouch. Yep.
on my belly. And I call this Uber, right?
Oh shit, dude.
I call this Uber.
for you and the wallaby.
For me and the wallaby. And I jump in the back, and it's this African guy. He's literally from Africa, and he's telling me his life story. And then the wallaby makes a noise, and he's like, "What the hell?
What the hell was that?
He's like, "What is that?" And I was just like, "Yeah, like, by the way, I have a wallaby." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "What the fuck?"
It's like I'm from Africa. And that's the craziest
I
shit
know,
I've ever
and,
seen.
and he's just laughing, and
That's awesome.
and I'll tie this part up real quick. It was actually really funny because my Uber driver, his life goal is to open a zoo.
Oh, that's
wow.
crazy.
And he's working in America doing Uber and a couple other different jobs
the money.
to go back home where his family is in Africa because they have land and they have a few
they wanna do
things.
some
But he wants to
That's awesome.
do more.
That's awesome.
So it was actually kind of funny. But anyways, it was just
What the girl
Remember
think about
we
the
went to-
So the wallaby
It
never
was-
made it home, right?
No, it didn't. But so we went to a guy named Jeff Schrox, who's a friend of ours for many, many years, since we were teenagers, and he used to live up here in
I'm
Michigan.
so glad it was Forrest and not you. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
so
literally
he used to
would've
live
killed
up in
you.
Michigan, and he had a kangaroo, wallaby, and
Yeah.
emu
'Cause you tried-
farm.
yeah.
And
tried
so,
to
but
get
now he
all
lives
of the
down in
above.
Florida. Now he lives down in Florida. So we went to go visit him, and Forrest also did business with him. And somehow, within like we just went there to go look at his shit. and we left with the wallaby.
That's awesome.
And I remember like going to restaurants with the wallaby, and they like a couple of them like wanted to kick us out. Like you can't bring a wallaby in here,
animal.
you know.
Well, didn't you say too? Literally within a day, he was like, "What the hell did I do?"
Oh, it was like he had wallaby regret. You know, he had wallaby
buyer's
regret.
remorse, but for wallaby.
Yeah, and ultimately 100%. What ended up happening at the last day, we ended up at Robbie Kesey, who's going to come up here.
So
and by the way, so listen, it's a swamp wallaby, of course. So he named it Robbie.
Oh, that's awesome.
You literally named it Robbie.
It's named Robbie. I swear to Robbie. So he gave it to Robbie because he was like, I can't take care of this fucking thing. So
he traded it.
Yeah, he
got like a crocodile.
He got like a crocodile out of it
for the wallaby.
And so Robbie still has Robbie the wallaby.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's awesome. I can't wait to go back and visit my buddy.
Right, Robbie.
Yeah.
Robbie. Your
So I guess I talked to Robbie the other day and he said that it bites people now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's not a friendly wallaby now that it's an adult,
what happened?
You know? I don't know.
He was so nice.
He used to be the best wingman.
Well, you know,
I took him on a day he was playing with the dog.
This poor wallaby had some trauma in its early days, you know, going
There's
around.
No trauma. He got loved.
You're right.
Yeah, no, but it's but Forrest was a one of a kind, and I've got a million stories like that for Forrest. But it's tough to not have him to reminisce about these things, right? You know, and I can't imagine life without it. And you know, again, people always say nice things about people that pass away, but to me it's different. I mean, to me this is different, and it's
for sure, man.
It's tough, man, and I you know, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but it's you know, there's not many people like him in the world, and it's going to be a tough road ahead without him, you know.
It is. But, you know, I think that, like, we were kind of talking on our trip, and I think that's, you know, that's part of what helps is by sharing these kind of stories, because you relive the good times.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And you remember the good experiences and the good times you had with the people. And, you know, I think that's how you honor their memory and keep them, you know, with you.
Yeah, I mean, between the, you know, in between the tears, there's a lot of laughter, and I think I might, you know, by the way, Lori, well, I'll talk to you about this off the podcast, but yeah, no, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's you know, just some information.
It's just private.
Yeah, but
it's not something new.
So there will be. I don't. So obviously his memorial is tomorrow in South Dakota. We can't be there because it's South Dakota.
It really sucks because we really, you know, again, like you said, like
we thought it was going to be in Indianapolis, where he's from,
and
where
we were
he
trying
lived.
to figure it out, and unfortunately, just logistically,
being that just getting back from Mexico, there was no way for us to get there tomorrow, which is a bummer, and it sucks. But there will be some sort of a GoFundMe. I don't know what's going on right now. I don't want to push anyone to the wrong GoFundMe.
Exactly.
But obviously we're going to promote
the right one.
Yeah, we're going to promote a fundraising for the family to help Desiree and Lars' son, who's going to turn 1 here in the next couple weeks. Yeah. And but I don't know what that is. So just stay tuned. I'm going to make some stuff on the vlog. I haven't vlogged about it yet. Part of it is, you know, this is probably the first time I haven't been emotional talking about it. So at least now I know I can talk about it and not cry or whatever. And that's good. I will vlog about it. I will push every amount of energy I can possibly push to people to help that and to memorialize him as well. You know, I mean, obviously there will be something at the Reptarium that will memorialize Forrest because he was so pertinent in so many of the things that we did. So good friend, big loss, and didn't want to bring the mood down on the podcast, obviously, but it was important for me to talk to it, and it's you know, I'm sure I mean, there's going to be a lot more tough times ahead. You know, if I'm sure when I go down there, which would be soon, to see, you know, the family and stuff like that, it's going to be really, really difficult to be there. Yeah. You know, and we were just there. Me and Jay were just there just a couple, like 6-8 weeks ago, whatever it was. And, and it's it's again, every memory is a great memory to think of. And
yeah, he was a badass dude, man, for sure.
Yeah.
I only met him twice, but he definitely left an impression on me too.
Yeah, it's wild to say. I mean, obviously his main thing was Cold-Blooded Cafe, which I think will still continue to run. I think that Desiree is going to try to. I think she's going to try to keep everything going in his honor. But it just another quick story about his emergence into the rodent world, because they are our rodent supplier, and so he got this like lab hookup to get lab rodents, the excess that used to be incinerated years ago, and now of course it ends up into the reptile trade as frozen. And so he used to drive up from Florida, because now he lived in Indianapolis, but he was from South Dakota, but lived in Florida for many years. That's where he worked with Robbie Kesey and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so he would literally drive from Florida with this big old trailer, and then go to Indianapolis where pick up the stuff, and then drive to Michigan behind our building when we were in Shelby Township, and we would sit around till like 3 in the effing morning. Sorting rodents.
Oh my God.
Tens of thousands of rodents.
What the fuck?
And literally him and his friend would sleep in their van.
Their rat van.
Yeah, like they just sleep in the van, wake up in the morning and get back to sorting, because you had to sort them or they go bad. Yep. Because they were euthanized and they weren't frozen, So and this went on for
years.
And he went from that to like the best quality frozen rodents. I mean, those early rodents, they were almost you could almost not feed them off.
Melted, right?
They were so bad. I mean, they were definitely close to rotting. And now his quality is like fucking impeccable,
like,
and yeah. And so it's just funny to see how far he came with the rodent thing. And obviously moving to Indianapolis helped him a lot, and his place was super dope. Probably one of the most eclectic, awesome collections of reptiles that is in existence, really, with the Bronia and tree monitors and green tree pythons and everything.
Crocodiles,
and
whatever.
So great guy, please keep your eyes out and show the family some love. I will point you guys in that direction. Do you guys want to take a couple questions before we go?
We got a couple
super chats.
So
By the way, Jennifer.
Can I go pee real quick?
Yeah. Jen, hey, what's up? What's up? Lots of love. Thanks. It's great to have you. Our Miller again. Thank you so much as always.
# Team Sloth.
Team Sloth. Yes.
Thanks,
Jody. Thank you. Love it.
It's getting great.
We got to keep on. We got to keep that fun going for the sloth, man. You know what I'm saying? So let's. Is there anything else? There's Jen again says, grief is your receipt to the world showing you love. Sending all the love to everyone.
It's a beautiful way to look at that.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it is true. Jay Chop, if you had a wallaby and didn't try to pick a chick up, there's something wrong with
fair.
that.
That's very fair.
That's good. Mike again, lost best friend Dave, Aquaman last year. He taught me everything about free driving. Free diving is amazing. Mike, you have to teach me how to free dive,
me
brother.
too.
Miss a dude every time I hit the water. I would love to free dive with. As a matter of fact, we were talking with my guy from Mexico about doing whale sharks. So I'll talk more about that. Please name one of your new animals after Forrest. Yes, this is going to happen. That's the idea is if one way or another, if we get the croc monitor, is Bella, whether we get the croc monitor from Forrest
or somewhere
else, we're going to name the croc monitor Forrest for sure. Bite me says Brian, is Bella for sale? I paid $35. Honest to God, dead serious. If someone offered me $500,000, I would not take it for Bella.
You can't take Bella away from Bry Guy.
No, she's my baby, and no, you guys know by now, money isn't motivating to me. So
I mean, honestly, any of the animals at the Reptarium are not for sale.
No, I would never.
No, but top notch like Bella, you'd pry from his cold dead hands.
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
there's never. I love these things. I mean, and money is never. I know that was a joke. Obviously, we know they're not. But
if someone came right now with $35K in their
my God, I would be like, I can get you a baby rhino iguana from the lineage for $350. How's that sound? But Bella's not for sale. Or I've got a Bella plushie for $20.
$20.
You can
We got
buy that. anyways, so I know a lot of people are saying sorry for your loss and stuff like that. We appreciate that.
You should get a Komodo dragon.
I would love to get a Komodo. It's not really possible right now. I mean, just from a legality
And what is it?
standpoint.
It's that only zoos can have it. It's AZA or something.
Yeah, so
right?
all AZA zoos can have them, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about this, Forrest would know this answer, honestly, is that I believe that all the Komodos that are in the system actually kind of still belong to the Indonesian government.
That is true. I remember him talking about that.
And so their stipulation is that it doesn't go to the private sector, So
Gotcha.
although there are a couple private Komodos in captivity now, one that I know of, I think two that are in the United States, one that's at the Rob Carmichael's Discovery Center in Chicago, outside of Chicago, but it is a spayed female Komodo that can't breed, can't reproduce, and he got it from an AZA zoo and stuff like that. Let me see. I'm down. I got to let you know. Oh, that's Mike said. Got to let you know when you're visiting Florida next. Yeah, definitely, brother. I mean, it'd be really cool to go check it out, man.
Brandy Casagrande.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. When we do some shark stuff, man, it's for sure. Let's see. Thoughts and prayers for his family. Yeah, thank you so much. Like I said, definitely keep his family in your thoughts, guys. Lori should get him a sloth. I think it is a good thing.
Yeah. I think it's time to wrap up.
All right.
Yeah, let Brian have a sloth. Jason, Jason, the Jason behind the camera.
There's two Jasons. I'm Jay, also Jason, and then there's Jason Austin, who does moderation for the chat, which is probably what she's talking about.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So different Jason, but
Okay,
also a cool guy.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Let's see. Go join this. Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So yeah, obviously join the Facebook group Reptile Keepers for Brian Barczyk. Obviously they're great people over
I already
there.
know the answer to this, but it's no.
What's that?
It says, okay, Brian, right now, $1 million for Pella, cash.
It'd be no. It'd be
I know.
it'd be no. It
Cold hard
would
no.
be it'd be no. I mean,
I
because to me, the $1 million wouldn't change my life. It really wouldn't, because I would live the same way no matter how
that's
much
true.
money I have. And but not having Bella would change my life.
Yeah.
In a bad way, so it wouldn't be something like Lindsay. Had a tough day today. Glad I was able to catch this live tonight, gain some perspective on my rough day, and get some laughs. I'm glad that you did, and I hope that your night is better, Lindsay.
Yeah,
Yes.
Remember, it is perspective.
Thank you,
It's like I had told Lori, and this is really the truth, is that sometimes the struggle is real. We work so hard at our businesses and growth and expanding and doing and achieving. And Forrest was very much the same. He was very motivated, always expanding his businesses and working hard. And none of that matters now, right? Not any of it. And that puts a lot of things into perspective. It really does. So I think that balance in life. Thankfully we do what we love. But at the same time, there needs to be a balance.
For sure.
There needs to be a balance and not kill yourself, and do what you love and live your life to the fullest. Be in the moment.
Make time for friends,
because
family, loved ones.
tomorrow may not be here for any
Tomorrow's
of us.
never promised.
So someone said the only thing we have in common is this very moment.
That's right,
and
man.
I think that's true.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So
It's so, yeah.
Get a koala bear.
I just don't want to.
yeah.
I have so many thoughts, but I just don't want to say something that I shouldn't,
It's tough, and sometimes it is sometimes better to not say stuff. What I mean?
Exactly.
And by the way, it's not a koala bear. Okay, there's no such thing as a koala bear.
Just a
it's just a koala.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about
Now,
panda bear.
now they do call them drop bears. They do drop
let's
them
go
about
pee.
me. Yeah, go ahead. All right, yeah.
I know
Laura,
my
we'll
tap
wrap
was
up.
full. I needed to let it out.
Yeah, so,
I'm not joking. That thing was freaking.
So guys, we appreciate you so much
Clumpus
for
great.
everything. Obviously, show some love to the Clips channel, please. You guys can see
Yeah.
little bits of clips.
Noah
from
works
this.
hard on that shit.
Yeah, Noah works really hard on the clips.
Yeah,
He
go
also,
subscribe. Checking in Clips is the channel name.
yeah.
Also, make sure you guys go follow, subscribe on Apple Podcasts,
Spotify, yeah.
Stitcher.
Yeah, sometimes it's
trying to
easier to
work on-
listen than to watch,
Yeah.
so.
I think we're on radio.com. I have to double check to see if they accept us, but we should be.
Yeah, just anywhere you guys see podcasts, we'll try to be
Yeah.
on it, and we love. By the way, I love podcasting, and I hope that you
Me too.
guys are enjoying it, because this is it's an evolution, right? I mean, we went from snake bites to vlogging to podcasting. By the way, I do have a potential new project that I'll be involved in. I'll talk about that in the future. That will be even more content out there, but. But podcasting is probably one of my favorite things that we've ever done.
It is great.
You know, it's super good, and so I hope you guys enjoy it. And we appreciate everyone that is tuning in. The 800 people live right now that are watching. You guys are all amazing. We love you. The support you show us is so humbling, and we can't thank you enough. But yeah, so check out all that stuff and clip stuff, and thank you guys for hanging out in the chat. Thank you guys for the super chats.
Yeah,
it helps kind of keep the wheels turning with all the millions of things we have going on, and so thank you.
Millions more to come.
Yeah, millions more to come. So for that, you want to take us out?
Yes, thank you guys for watching. Remember, just enjoy today.
Yes.
Go out. Go hug one of your family members or something, Just show appreciation.
Be kind to someone.
Yeah, be kind, enjoy it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to the podcast, watching the podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed being checked in. And now we are checking out. Peace.
Peace, guys. Love you guys.